was saying how this flower solved a crime. What happened was there was a murder, right, in an office. So they said it's obvious that someone who works in the office did this murder because that person's only a sort of a typist. He has, you know, they've done nothing wrong. So they said that's narrowed it down, right? So this flower man came in and he said, I can sort this out for you. So they said, what do you mean? He said, well, during the murder, the plant was knocked off the cabinet,
Right.
And he had some special wires that he can put on the flower, and it's sort of shaking and stuff, because even though you can't see it, flowers pick up bad vibes and what have you. If you shake a plant, it doesn't like it.
Okay.
Right? So what happened was, he said, right, what we'll do, we'll put the plant back on the shelf, we'll water it, we'll calm it down, then get
a nice cup of tea.
Then get every member of staff to come in the room and just go near the flower.
Right.
So don't tell them.
So like a line-up for the flower?
Kind of.
Kind of like a line-up.
But don't tell them what we're doing. Just send them in and say, stand by that cabinet where the murder happened and what have you. Anyway, it was a long day. They were getting through a lot of stuff. It was a big office block. They were going, this isn't working. You know, the flower's not budging. Suddenly, they get into, like, the last part of the day when they were almost giving up.
They call in a sketch artist. The plant gives them a...
Some caretaker fella.
Caretaker,
said, go over there.
Was it an old man that, I mean, because Scooby-Doo didn't like him from the beginning.
No.
So, you know, is why is that janitor so evil?
They send the caretaker over to the plant. He's going, you know, he's thinking, I've got away with this.
Of course.
Plant starts shaking, what have you. They did him.
Okay, wait a minute then. So, was there any other evidence?
Was that the only evidence they used in the trial?
Well, no, it's one of them things, though. Imagine it, if you're that caretaker and you're thinking, I've got away with this, then suddenly a plant grosses you up. You weren't expecting that. So suddenly you're off guard.
And you go, okay, can't get that chrysanthemum away from me, I did it. You're talking absolute bollocks. That was one of the most nonsense pieces of shit I've ever heard in my life.
Listen, well, it happened, but...
It didn't happen.
Anyway, this seems one that I think you and your father have probably come across this sort of dilemma in the past. And I'd be interested to know what your take is on it. Let me see, this is from Lee Matthews by the look of it. He says, he lives in a suburban area where the local teenagers also live on the same road, and they're running riot. They're smashing wing mirrors off the cars, they're crashing into parked cars on their skateboards, and they're just generally making mayhem, you know, night and day. What can he do to stop this going on? The parents of the kids don't seem to give a damn. Anyone who complains to them, they just say, oh, piss off. You know, the police are useless because they never catch them in the actual act of violence, which is what they got to do to apparently convict them. So they don't know who to turn to, really. It's rather like when a little old lady went and got the A-team, you know.
You know, and he was dressed as an elderly Chinaman.
Exactly.
She knew who he was. Colonel Decker didn't have a clue.
Yeah. You see, it's weird because now it has got out of hand. Do you know what I mean? Like years ago when I was growing up on the estate, you had problems, but not like you have now. Do you know what I mean? You know,
summers were nice as well, weren't they?
Well, it did seem that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right, and...
Police are getting shorter and younger.
But you yourself kind of admitted in the past that you were something of a tearaway. You didn't do anything like these kids here.
I mean, the thing is, I was scared that if I got caught doing it, my dad would go mad.
Yes.
And I remember smashing a car window by accident and legging it in the lounge and sort of pretending to go asleep on the settee. Right?
Genius.
And I heard a knock at the door.
He chloroformed himself, just to be unconscious when his dad came home.
And there was a knock on the door, and I thought, oh God, this is the fella who saw me. I was chucking a stone in the air, seeing how high I could throw it.
Of course you were. Did it keep landing on your head? That would explain a lot.
And it came down.
Chucking a stone in the air, love it!
To see how far I could throw it.
Brilliant.
So, you know, I wasn't bothering anyone.
Did you invent that game?
Right,
Did you get the stone for your birthday? Go and play with your stone.
He gave one to Suzanne.
Karl, go and play with your stone.
No, the thing is, right, and it came down at a funny angle, and
of course it did.
It ate the back of this car, and the back window is the most expensive because it has that heating thing in it.
Yeah.
In case you got a frosty window.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh God. So I legged it in, got on the settee, went to sleep, knocked at the door.
Genius. This is a brilliant plan. It's a brilliant plan. I couldn't be guilty. I'm asleep.
So
I love the idea.
So the thing is, our lounge used to sort of you could see in from the door, right? So this family who saw me do it saw me asleep on the settee, and my mum said, "Go and get the door," and I sort of went, "What?" as if I'd been asleep.
Yeah.
I went to the door, like rubbing my eyes, and the fella said, "What did you run off for? I saw you." I was like, "Oh no." and I didn't see my dad. I went out. It was when he was working sort of evenings, so I went out so I didn't have to see my dad. And then the next day I came home from school, and my dad said, 45 quid.
Ooh.
That's all he said.
That's all
He
he
looked at me.
And then you fell asleep, and he went, wake up. You know what I said? No, 45 quid.
Now the thing
Carl.
is, he didn't have to do
£45, Carl. Now I know you were saving up for a brick, but you can't have it. Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? It's like, I knew I did wrong, and I was scared that my dad was going to belt me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll be more careful next time.
But that was clearly good parenting on the part of your father, because these young tykes, clearly they don't have the father support.
I don't know
if you were living in that street, very quickly, what would you do? What would your approach be? If you were living in his street?
What if they'd come home, right, and they just vandalised all your pebbles, right, that you'd been saving over the years, and just threw your gravel away? What would you do if they just...
I'd probably clout one of them.
So you'd use violence?
I think it's the only way sometimes.
Sometimes the only way.
And I don't mean, really bad, but I'd show them that I'm not putting up with this.
Right.
And then the problem is you've got their family coming round, and they're probably quite...
Go to sleep. If you hit a kid and the dad comes down, just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just...
equally, if you're doing a bigger crime, a bank job or a murder...
Remember to take the stocking off your head, because if they wake you up and go, why have you got a stocking on your head? Just go, I had a weird dream. It won't work.
It's like with our kid, right? He was... I told Ricky about this the other day in the pub, but it's...
Is this your brother?
He never,
because he was a terror, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, a little bit, but
he did drive a tank down the high street once, didn't he?
Yeah, that's when he was in the army. But
another story.
But this time, I remember my mum and dad were going out right for the evening, and I must have been about 5, so our Mark was like probably 18, something like that, 16, 17, 18. So my mum and dad go out, and our Mark says to me, right, here's a deal, do your little deal. I'm going to have a load of women round. Right? Deal is, I'll let you have your tractor in the house.
Wow, he had a tank, you had a tractor.
but his brother didn't have the rocks that Karl had.
No.
So he needed the tractor to put his toys along.
What kind of a man was he? He brought a bunch of women round?
So, yeah, there was loads but do you know when you're a kid, you don't think, oh, I know what they're up to. You're not bothered, are you? Do you know what I mean? As long as I've got my tractor, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I was.
But he hasn't changed a bit.
But how many women did he have? Was it just him and a bunch of women?
Yeah.
Was it like what's his name? What's his name? Like Nedwell from Confessions.
Yeah.
Confessions of an older brother.
They all just came round and had a big
he liked
orgy.
his women. Seriously, right? My mum and dad had to move because they got sick of women coming round saying, "I've got a kid and it's your Mark's." They had to move because it got that bad.
Did you hear when you were playing on your tractor and there was women running back and forth in underwear? Did you ever hear this noise? Did you ever hear that?
Or kind of wow, 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 wow,
wow, wow, wow, and just see your brother's arse disappearing down the thing being chased by a butcher. Did you?
It's not important. Is it?
Law and order.
Not that interested in it, to be honest.
What do you mean?
I've got no interest in law and order whatsoever. It's not part of my life. That's the problem. You keep picking topics that don't buzz me.
Of course they do.
They don't.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
You're a man quite obsessed with law and order.
Based on what?
Well, law and order is basically to protect the innocent, isn't it? I mean, when we think of law and order, we usually think of crime and punishment, but it's all about protect our person. We have the right to walk the streets without getting mugged. When someone wrongs us, we want justice. It's fundamental. And you do. You were sitting in your old flat in London, phoning me every day that you wanted to go downstairs and smack their heads in for being late and shouting around and being drunk, and you could hear it. You wanted some justice.
Yeah, but nothing would have happened if I'd called someone up and said there's people doing noise pollution. Even though there's a law for noise pollution now, it's not really taken seriously, is it? Well,
but you are concerned with law and order.
No, but
you wanted your rights, and you ended up moving. He's moved here now. He's moved to lovely sunny Hampstead, just down the road from us. So you're having a better life.
Yeah,
so
but I shouldn't have to move because of some noisy people.
No, you shouldn't. But I'm saying you were stressed.
No one cares, though.
And you wanted justice, but you thought you couldn't get justice, so you moved away.
Yeah, so I dealt with it in my way.
Yeah,
I hated them.
Right.
Because they didn't care about anyone else.
Exactly.
But the police wouldn't get involved. There's other people who live round there who had to put up with it. No one cared.
So what did it feel like every night when you were trying to watch telly and it's hot and you got the window open, or...
No, you could just hear stuff. And, it's that thing of, you get a lot of tourists in London, so they're talking. It's not even as if you can listening to what they're saying and have a view on their opinion because they're foreign.
Would that be entertaining for you?
Well, yeah, because if you can hear what people are saying, you go, yeah, that's a
Switch
good
the
point.
telly off.
That's a good point.
There's some
I
sort
don't
of-
want to hear anyone talking. I'll tell you what, really feel sorry for people with, like, neighbours from hell. Because it's, I mean, you know, I'm not saying it's justified, but I can see why people go mental with someone when they're bullied or, you know, constantly harassed and no one cares. And when you can't go to the police, and go, there's a bloke next door, he's got his telly on loud, he's always pissed, he's shouting about, if you don't do something, I'm going to go around there and crack his head in. You're be the one that...
But isn't it your own fault for living in central London?
Well, not really, because it wasn't always like that. I'd been there years, and then all of a sudden, you know, good fellas turn up. They sat down there making a racket. What can you say to them? You call down, they can't hear the phone ringing.
Could I just say that Goodfellas wasn't a pizza joint? He called the loud people that because he thought they were gangsters because they did what they wanted and sat outside and...
Yeah.
So, but it's louder, I think it is louder abroad than it is here. Whenever I go away on holiday, I always notice that it's always a couple of decibels higher.
Really?
Always. Like the sound of bird noises and that are louder abroad. Because they're trying to get a nut above the noise of the noisy people.
No, that's not true.
They are. When I was where was I? Menorca or something. It was like lying there. If it wasn't a noisy local, it was the people in the villa next door. If it's not them, they suddenly collected the bottles from the bottle bank. That's a nice noise when you're just relaxing. The bottle bank. Just pop that there where the villa is. So that was a racket. There was always there was just so much noise.
Animals, creatures.
You can't escape it. It's the one thing you can't escape, noise. Your ears never turn off.
No.
They're always there.
But I've told you before, wear earplugs if you have to.
I don't like it.
But he doesn't like, he says he can hear the sound of his own art.
Well, there's always a sound. Like your eyes, you can close them. My eyes close all the time, and if I don't like the look of something, if I don't like the look of something, they close before even I've thought about if I want to see it or not.
What do you think? What do you think exactly?
I just mean if I see something on the telly or like one of those casualty programs or something, it's like my eyes know that I'm not going to like the look of it.
But no.
So they close quicker.
No.
My ears, they seem to be interested in everything, even though I'm not.
What I mean is, you can't close your ears.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying.
Exactly, yeah. You can never...
So that's why
I like the idea that your eyes are closing when you... I was watching that.
Yeah,
what are you doing,
Have your eyes ever closed something that you're going...
No, they normally get it right.
Your eyes aren't making
normally
any
get it
decisions.
right.
You're making decisions. You turn away because you don't like seeing something. You don't turn away and then you're going, what was that? And your eyes going, you don't want to know. You do not know. You don't want to know,
I'm just
Karl.
saying anyway.
Lovely pair of tits here.
I just mean noise pollution. It's the one thing you can't escape.
Karl, have you ever been conned?
There's always someone doing well out of me. There's always someone if they're a little bit short, we'll go around to Pilkington.
But I mean,
Rip him
3
off.
or 4 times a day. Sometimes I call him up and he goes, right, the washing machine's broken, they came round, they've done this, right, they couldn't fix it, but they had to call it, charged 90 quid. I called the bank and said, no, they can't do that. Turns out they can't do it. It's like a string of things where it looks like Karl's handing out money, like the end of a comic book. He goes, that's for the broken window, and there's for my sausages. It's like a queue of people just taking money off Karl.
I don't know, they're normally alright if I'm face to face with them.
Really?
Yeah, if I can sort of, if I can go in a place, but a lot of stuff now is done on the phone.
Yeah.
It's all phone, isn't it? Because it's all over the world where you're speaking to these people.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day about the alarm system, right, in the flat. Called them up, thought, it'd be good to get this going again. Have an alarm system, I haven't had one for years. Might as well use it, it's there. So, I called them up and said, there's an alarm system in this flat I bought. I want to get it going again. What's the situation? So they took a load of details and stuff, and they said, right, what you have to do, it's 400 quid a year. I said, what? So 400 quid a year. I said, what's that for? He said, if the alarm goes off, we can guarantee that a copper will be there in like a minute and a half. I said, I don't want that. I said, I'm just happy with the alarm just going off. I'll give the keys to the neighbour. No, you can't do that. You've got to have this way. I said, 400. I said, I thought alarms are meant to stop you being robbed. Did you what, sir? Don't understand sarcasm when you're talking to them people.
Yeah. Just to get out your system, when you know you've been conned, you just laugh in the face of adversity.
You were just talking about how I lived in an odd village.
Yeah.
With kids with big heads and all that, right? And what I wanted to do...
What is that again? There's 2 kids with big heads?
Yeah, they just had sort of big heads and, webbed hands and that. They went to my school. And, when I spoke to my dad the other day, because I'm going out to see my mum and dad tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, have we got any school photographs with the big-headed kids in? And he said, no, nobody bought those sort of school photos, because they were in it, so it was always a bit ruined. But I said, well... No, he said sales were, because he obviously talked to other dads and stuff like that, and he just said, oh, no one bought them. But anyway, so...
I would love them!
Yeah.
That's why I'd buy them.
Yeah, but I wouldn't stand out, would I? If it's on the mantelpiece.
Yeah, well...
But anyway, so I was talking about,
When you say they had big heads, what do you mean? Do they look like someone from Doctor Who?
They were just quite big.
But they weren't related?
No.
So why did 2 blokes with big heads and webbed feet?
I lived in a weird area. There was a chemical plant close by.
I can't believe you've never told us that before. That explains a lot. Not just the freaks in your neighbourhood, but...
No, there was loads of weird stuff going on. There was this, like I said, there was this woman who, used to, live in one of the council flats, right? And, she had a 3-wheeled, sort of big, what do you call
it? 3-wheeled son. He was the weirdest bloke we ever knew.
Well, they call it like a big tricycle, but for an adult rather than one for a kid. It was a big one.
It wasn't a motorbike though, it was a...
No, it was a push bike thing.
Right. Yeah.
And she used to, sort of ride down the road with a fella sat in the basket on the back with his, legs dangling over. And they'd be going to, the pub and what have you.
Was it a different fella each time, or the same one?
Yeah, sort of bald-headed fella.
So it was in collection for organs and things. Bring out your ill. And then people just throw Grandad just in the back and go, right, we're getting £4 for Grandad.
But she's
got a lovely pair of testicles on him. They're very low, but they're
bring out your dead or nearly dead.
She used to pick on her husband quite a lot. They'd be in the pub and what have you, and they'd be sat by themselves, but she'd always be sort of, having a go at him, moaning at him, sort of pushing him about and that. So my dad and his mate, right, they went round to their house, knocked on the door, she answered, and he said he was a copper, right? He said, Detective Pilkington, gonna come in and have a word.
So I'm just going to make a note of impersonating a police officer.
For the good, he went in and sort of said, now, I've heard, you picking on your husband a lot. Yeah. We'll be keeping an eye on you. Do it again, and, there'll be trouble. And she backed off after that. She was alright.
And how was the husband? Was he still in the basket, though? Was he allowed to ever sort of, ride up front with her? Or was he just always in the
she'd sort of stopped picking on him in public places and stuff.
That's good.
You can't get done, can you, just for doing that?
I think impersonating a police officer...
Well, you probably did. There was no gain. I think you can't impersonate a police officer full stop, but I think they'd probably be lenient on him that he was, But let's face it, he's not gonna be caught, because, why would anyone know about it? It's not like his son's gonna say it on a radio station, is it? And stitch him right up.
Is this something he did generally? Kind of a little bit of, vigilante work?
Just whatever, him and his mate, just, if they saw something going on, they go, what can we do? Sure. What little scam can we do, or whatever.
That's fantastic! That is brilliant! Right, okay, coming up, Knob News.
And Monkey News.
And Monkey News. And the answers to Rockbusters. What a show. Talking about, your parents listening, Karl, it was in Heat this week, and, they mentioned that he does this thing on Sky. What is it?
It was this thing with Richard Bacon, some programme about watching telly, and you just talk about what you're watching, and that.
And he was annoyed, because he said because his parents are there, and so he's not doing it. He's not going to turn up, because they mentioned it in Heat.
And so his parents might watch?
Yeah.
Why are you worried about that?
I don't like them watching stuff, do I? I told you, it dates back to when I did Little Donkey at school. Sure. I don't want people watching me.
What's that? Just renew us on Little Donkey? What happened?
It was just, I was there to play the drums and that, in We Three Kings. I was loving it, I got a bit carried away.
How old were you?
About 13,
yeah,
right?
Really?
Probably.
Yeah.
About 10 probably,
Yeah.
6.
Between 6 and 13.
Where old were you? What school were you at?
Okay, you were playing Little Donkey.
Yeah.
So, and,
No,
but it was one of them schools where everyone sort of was in the same one. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, a Manchester school. Yeah, just the one classroom.
Well, it's like
sweeping chimneys in the day and then 1 hour of learning. Yeah. What are you talking about? What school were you at? Was it infants, junior, or secondary?
They didn't really do that. It was
What
one
do
way.
you mean? You did that. They still have to abide by the laws of the land in Manchester.
No, but it was a lot more like you had infants, but you also had like the older lot. There's kids there who, when you're in the younger year and that, you'd see kids and you go,
talk English and use terms that people do when they're talking about schooling.
I don't even want to talk about this.
No, how old were you? What?
I'm guessing maybe 6 or 7 or 8.
So you went from 13 to 6?
Yeah, but like I say, it's hard to remember because...
Imagine if you were giving evidence in a trial.
Yeah. How old were you? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I can't really narrow it down other than 7 years either way.
You know, theoretically,
Yeah.
he could get called up for jury service.
That's a frightening thought that you came up with before the break.
Karl on jury service.
Karl could be responsible for someone's rest of their life.
Yeah. Because jury service, that applies to anyone. Anyone could get sent the form. Yeah, I think you're obliged to go unless you have a really decent reason not to.
Imagine it was a really, really important trial.
But what annoys me is that isn't it supposed to be you're tried by 12
good
of
men
your
and
peers?
true. 12 good men and true. Yeah.
Good men and true.
And women, of course.
The only
these
thing
days.
I can hope is that the defence attorney would wheedle out Karl at an early stage.
Oh yeah, objection. I object.
Yeah.
Why?
I object. Have you heard of something called Rockbusters?
Yeah. Well, sorry, you can't just object on that. Okay, then what if I tell you my client, standing trial, is a little gay Chinese fella? And here are some of the tapes
Yeah.
from XFM.
My
What would you
suspicion
do?
is he's prejudiced.
So how does it work then?
How does what work?
What do you mean? You just get called up and you have to do jury service unless you've got a very good reason.
And it's not, I normally have Mondays off.
Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't like that.
Oh, yeah, or
you have to get there at 9
I've got to
o'clock.
prepare monkey news.
Yeah. Oh, you couldn't stand it.
Just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't
What would you say?
say, oh, don't get me involved. Because I got involved once.
Don't get me involved!
No.
What do you mean you got involved once?
Well, with the police and that, when I lived in Manchester, I saw a bit of car crime going on.
Right.
And I got involved. Hassle. I'm telling you.
How did you get involved? You phoned the police?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I thought, well, I know, well, that's just it. But I thought, I'd hope somebody did it with my,
Yeah.
So, and it's just a hassle. Loads of phone calls.
Canary.
Having to stand on a balcony of this, tower block that I lived in. Police shouting up at me. I'm stood there with my underpants on, right? And what it was, a car had been robbed, right? Mm-hmm. So I call up the police and that, right? Said, right, listen, car's been robbed. And they said, where is it? I said, I don't know, just across the road from where I live, right? So I tell them where I live. And
Where do you live? How old were you? 13?
So she's asking loads of questions and that. I'm saying, look, whilst you're asking all this, they're actually getting away, so, will we leave it? And she's like, no, we'll track it down, blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, look, I work nights.
What could you see? You could see some
lads
just
pushing a car.
Pushing a car?
Yeah.
That's how they steal cars in Manchester, is it?
Yeah.
Everywhere else in the country, they're getting in, they're driving them away.
In the south, they drive them away.
Exactly.
You usually sort of like
In
start the
Manchester.
engine. Could you get away a lot faster? What do the police do? Push their panda car after them.
Exactly.
Say, come on lads, don't cheat, don't get in the car. They're just pushing it.
It was late at night and that, and
Oh,
I suppose
okay.
you don't want to start the engine.
Of course you don't want to wake people up, not when you're nicking cars, of course you don't.
Alright,
No,
so,
no.
so is it
Late
working
at
for
night?
you?
Hold on, they weren't
were
gay.
wheeling
They
it to
weren't
the
gay,
bus
were
stop.
they? They were out late, really? Come on, Karl, so what happened?
So, anyway, I said, look, don't call me back, I'm going to bed, right, I've got work in a bit.
Brilliant.
So,
Let's go, what?
so that was that, right?
Where were you working?
Next thing, right, phone's going, hello, it's the police again. I said, oh, I told you not to call me. Right?
I told you not to call me at home.
So, they said, right, the police are outside, can you go on your balcony? She's like, oh. So I'm 10 stories up, right? Stood on the balcony with like my underpants on.
Yeah.
Right? And the police are saying, where's the car? And I'm saying, I don't know, they've gone down that road now. So I'm trying to point to them. They're shouting up, saying which road and all that. And I just thought, why did they get involved?
Yeah.
I don't think they found it.
No.
It was hassle.
The
know what I mean?
blokes were pushing it too fast.
Exactly.
They were in the next street by now, weren't
But
they?
don't get involved. Don't get after that.
Imagine him being on some sort of trial where it was like some sort of mob affair.
Yeah, gangland murder.
Imagine him going into the witness protection. The police just explaining to him, your new name is Jeffrey Peters.
Why can't I be called Bruce Wayne?
Well, no. Mr. Pilkington, listen. Imagine that. Do you know what witness protection is?
Oh, go on.
Amazing.
Look, it's when
supposing you were to give evidence against the mafia, right? You've done a job for them and now you have to give evidence against them, right?
Right, well, if you're going to do... I mean, all I did was 2 kids nicking a car. Yeah. Don't start messing with mafia.
No, listen, of course not, no. But imagine you're in the mafia, and that you got caught doing something, but instead of going to prison for the rest of your life, you said, oh, well, I can give you Mr. Big, yeah? So they go, okay, give us Mr. Big and we'll let you off, right? So the police go, right, okay.
I got handed this leaflet in Soho.
So you say, okay, well, I'll give you names. They go, right, we get evidence in court, and you go, yeah. They go, right, we'll have to get you away because you'll be done for. So you give us all the names of Mr. Big, right? We'll give you a new identity, a new passport. We'll let you go and live in Canada for the rest of your life with Suzanne, right?
So why have I got to do all that?
Because they'll bump you off, won't they?
How did you know it was me?
Because you have to give evidence in court. So they go, oh, Pilkington squealed.
So you got to change all your life?
Yes.
Yeah.
They've killed someone, yeah?
Yeah. Well, look, you just know, you're giving them in just to keep you from going to jail. So you don't want to spend the rest of your life in prison because you're involved in something, or or whatever. It doesn't matter, Karl!
No,
listen!
how would the mafia know that I've said something?
Because you say in court, those are the people, he's Mr. Big, he's Mr. So-and-so, he ordered the hit. Don't you know anything?
It's a lot of messing around though, isn't it?
But...
So I've got to leave this job, yeah?
Yeah, I think they might try XFM first.
I'd have to... What, I'd have to bin Suzanne, would I?
No, she can go and live with you.
You have to cut off all your ties with your friends and family, though. You can't contact them. You've got to leave them behind.
Would she have to change her haircut?
Possibly.
When did the murder happen?
Yeah. So what would the new identity be that you'd choose? What would you choose for yourself?
What name?
Probably, I wanted to be called Brett when I was a kid.
Okay.
Right. Brett what?
Brett Pilkington.
You got to change your surname, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Maybe go ex-directory.
Where would you move to?
Probably back up north.
No.
Well, no.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Can I suggest, maybe, Brett Hanson, and go and live in Australia or Canada or something. Well, maybe when they're not operating, maybe, you know, and they just forget it.
You might have to change your identity as well. You might have to grow your hair. Well, you can't grow your hair, but maybe wear a wig or a moustache.
What would you do? What would you wear?
So like an afro or something?
Something like that.
That would be brilliant. That would be absolutely brilliant.
And I've got to do all that just because for 5 minutes I stood in a court thing.
Yes.
And said he's the one who did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, why can't I just wear the afro and the glasses when I'm in the court? Say my name's Brett, right?
Yeah.
Change my voice a bit. He did it, and they go, thanks very much. I go off, I carry on my life.
That's
I'm still coming in here on Saturday.
I don't know why they haven't thought of that.
That is genius. I don't.
Discounts all the witness protection scheme.
Why don't they do that?
Yeah.
So they go, well, I'll go to court as Brett Hanson
Yeah.
with an afro. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Right, and then when I come out, I'm back to Karl Pilkington, still talking like that, but without the afro. That is perfect. You've got... Why don't you call the FBI and say, listen, I can save you billions of dollars a year. You're a genius, Karl.
Right.
I have a fascinating tale to tell you, Karl. I think you'll be intrigued. When I do junkets for films in America or Toronto Film Festival, I was assigned a security, and I've had security before. I often have security. They just sort of get you in and out of the car, and usually just to control sort of autograph hunters and things. But this time I was given a security, and he came in a suit. He looks about 30. He looked quite unassuming. I thought he was from just a security firm, and there was a couple of them. And first of all, they were talking to each other, and I thought, wow, the stakes are higher here. I don't know. I don't know why. And they drove us to the hotel, and there was loads of people going to the hotel. I mean, much bigger stars than me. You know, there was Ed Norton and George Clooney, and they were going in and out. And he goes, we can go past these. And he called ahead, and he knew everyone. He just knew everyone. And we went down in the car park. We were met by another security guard in the hotel that let us go past everyone. I mean, Clooney's having to queue up and sign. I'm thinking, this is weird. And I was feeling a bit guilty because I was there to promote the film. And I think, this security guard's so good, I'm never going to ever have to pump into anyone. It was amazing. And they was there the next day, and he took us to the junket and back, and he put us on the thing. And then it turned out that he was actually LAPD. who was doing this for celebrities because he earned more money. And then I found out he had a gun. So I can't come in the airport with you, I can't take my gun. So he's armed. So I've got a security who's an APD who's armed, and I'm fascinated. Now I'm fascinated. This man is walking around with me with a little earpiece, talking to everyone. He seems to know everyone, and he's got a gun. I think, this is amazing. Then one night he said, he dropped me off at the hotel, and he said, I've actually been called, I've got to go on a mission, they need my help. I said, really, what is it? He said, it's a hostage situation. He said, and I'm also SWAT. So now this is amazing. He's now officially the coolest man I've ever met in my life. So he goes off. Then I'm thinking, I'm worried about him. I was talking to Jane, I was thinking, wow, he does this, he gets this extra cash, he's risking his life, and now he's going to a hostage situation. And I was thinking, oh God, it's just a silent hero. So next day he comes, I said, how was it? He said, I was fine. He said, I just turned up. He said, I had to do it in my suit. He said, because I'm the negotiator.
What?
So now he's an armed security guard who's an LAPD, who's special SWAT, and he's one of 9 negotiators in LA. We're in LA now. We've come from Toronto, went via New York and LA. So I went, oh my God. And I just asked him questions for 2 hours. So the first thing that happens is, so someone runs in with a hostage. This guy, who's just a kid, who was 19, he'd done a robbery. He'd panicked and he'd run away. The police were after him. He ran in and he took his kid with him. It was just a 3-year-old kid. Okay. That often happens. Most hostages that people take are their family, because it's all they've got. And they go, I'm going to kill my wife or my kid and that. And they don't mean it. They're not going to. But they need a hostage. They've got a gun. So he talks to them and he says things to them like, you know, you didn't mean this to happen, did you? They went, no, he said they got out of hand. It just got out of hand. And he has to let them trust him, because they've got a hatred for the police, of course. They don't trust the police now. And the first thing he does is call the phone company and say, what's the number of this address? He goes, change it by 1 digit. So now only he can call that number, because of course you can't have an engaged signal. If they haven't got a phone, they have to throw a phone through a window. So they've got to have contact with this guy. You know? I said, what happens if this guy says, you're never going to get me out, I'm going to kill all the hostages? He said, then my sole purpose is to get him to stand near a window. And I went, wow. Now apparently there's a police marksman ready, of course, if they think they've lost him. The important thing is you've got to take him out, because you've got to protect the innocent. So how they shoot him is they shoot him in the top lip, and it takes out the brainstem, so there's no reflex. And I'm just being absolutely... I'm captivated. What do you think of that, Karl, as a job? It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, once you've done one, though, it's like any job, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah.
Once you've done one.
Yeah,
Not impressed?
Boring, yeah.
No, it's good.
Could you do it? Do you reckon you could do it? Do you reckon you could negotiate someone out of a hostage situation?
Well, I think in one of them
tones?
things, there's nothing you can do. It's like, it doesn't matter if it goes wrong, because
it
you
does.
did your bit. No, it's like being a vet, isn't it?
Not really, because that's ridiculous thing to say.
It's nothing like being like a vet.
No, it is. What I mean is, you're expected to make the little kitten live.
No, there's loads of it. Because I was saying, so he says, I need a car by 5 o'clock, or I'm going to kill someone. He then makes sure that he doesn't kill anyone, but he makes sure that car doesn't come till 5:15. Even if it's there, he keeps going, it's on its way, because then the hostage knows that he's not in control, really. Even if it's as easy as saying, I want my wife here, and he can get her there at 5, he makes sure she doesn't turn up till 5:20.
Yeah.
It's just little things like that that's just absolutely fascinating. The psychology of it is just amazing.
But he's not bothered, is he? If
He is
15
bothered.
minutes late.
He is, because he really takes a bit, he empathises with these guys, and he says, no, you've got to understand.
No,
He
but the
says,
fella in the house with the gun,
yeah.
he's not going anywhere. 15 minutes either side doesn't matter. Well, why is he in a rush?
I don't think Karl's getting how
Not sure he
important,
is.
how
No,
amazing
not
he
sure
is.
You said
Yeah.
they make the car 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
He's getting his car. That
Yeah,
bloke's not in a rush.
He's never going to get in the car, is he? That's the other thing as well, because once a bloke said to him, I need a car, and he just went, where are you going to go? And the bloke went, Yeah, I forget that. He has to make them forget their deadlines and their demands. So soon it doesn't matter. And he has to get in their head. But to do that, he says that he has to empathise with them to a certain extent. He has to understand why they're doing it, to talk to them and go, yeah, you've had a bad day. That would send anyone. But he has to get their trust. Carl, try and talk me out. You think it's that easy? Right, I've got a hostage situation, right? Done a crime. I've run in the building. They go, there's only one person we can ask for. Get me Karl Pilkington. Okay, you turn up, right, what's your questions?
You've asked for me to deal with this?
No, the police know that you're their top man, and there's a guy in here, he's got a gun, he's got a hostage, okay, he's just done a crime, they don't know what to do, okay? Right, you turn up, what's your first question to the...
I'm talking to you.
Well, no, you got to assess...
Right, I'd say, right, I think there's a saying, actually, you say, where's brass? Right. I found that out. I overheard that.
What's that?
It was something.
You're wasting time. Who's that bull cunt that's just turned up? I'm gonna fucking kill it.
Right, where's brass?
What does it mean?
I heard it at school when they.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
God, just you.
It means I heard someone use it on the.
Well, I don't know what the fuck it means.
It means the top person of the police who are around at the moment.
Yeah, well, you talked. I'm the fucking top brass here. I've got a fucking gun against this kid's head. Who the fuck are you bald little shithead? Where's my car?
What car?
I've asked for a car. Where's my fucking car? Am I talking to you now, am I?
If you want, yeah,
are you the negotiator?
Yeah.
Right. Get me a fucking car.
Where do you want to go?
Oh, I'm fucking sore for shouting. Throw a phone through the window so I can talk to you over the phone.
No. Alright, in a minute.
Don't ever fucking say no to me.
In a minute, I said.
Okay. Right, the clock's going. Where's this fucking phone?
Listen,
I've got a sore throat. I've got a sore throat. I can't talk anymore with that phone.
I've been called up here.
I can't hear you. I need a phone.
I've been called up here.
Yeah, can you go to put the phone through? Why aren't you putting the phone through, you dopey cunt? You want to talk to him?
Because I don't want to give you a phone straight away. You said you've got to delay him.
No, but you've got to talk to them. You shouldn't even demand a phone. You should make sure you've got a phone, you dopey twat.
Give him a phone.
Right, thanks. Alright, how's it going? That's better.
Right.
Right. Who are you, by the way? Who are you? Bruce?
I can't give you them details.
Well, you can, because I've got to trust you, dopey sod. Are you police, or just some fucking cunt walking by?
I'm a policeman.
Right, I don't trust policemen.
No, but I'm a bit higher than that. So listen.
Or don't you tell me I'm laying down the law here.
No, listen.
I'm going to shoot someone unless I get a fast car. I've done a robbery. It's all gone wrong. You're after me now, but I want a car to the airport. I want a plane standing by.
You don't know me, but I do this a lot. Right? And I can tell you that it never works out right. Do you know anyone who's done what you're doing and is now living a happy life?
Well, I don't care. I don't care about living anyway. I don't care about living out. I don't care if this goes wrong, because I'm going to shoot the hostage.
What's your problem?
I'm just... I think you've got the wrong attitude, mate. I think you've got the wrong attitude here.
No, but this is... to be honest with you, this was my last week.
Why are you telling him that?
Because I want to bring him down to my level.
Right. What's that got to do with it?
Well, you know, I've done this job for a long time.
Right.
And sometimes I felt like you. I've been, you know, even though I'm on this side, you know, sometimes I feel like, oh, I've had enough of this.
Right, well, I haven't enough, but I'll tell you, I don't care about living or dying here, so if I don't get a car to the airport, all bets are off. I'm killing everyone and then myself, so you'll be a big loser. You will be a big loser, son. There you go, I've given you the clue now, Karl. He doesn't care about getting away with it. Now you've got to get him to stand near a window. You've got to take him out. Because I've got a gun to someone's head. You can't burst in, right? You've got what? Come on. How do you get him to stand near a window?
Oh, I bet you're hot in there.
Keep going.
I am hot. Yeah, that's why I've just drawn the curtains and keep away from the window because the sun's blazing in. It's not too bad away from the window.
It's the sun's gone round the back now. Just come and have a look. It's a lovely evening.
Why do you want me to stand near a window?
I think just because when you see how nice an evening it is.
Worst load of dribble ever.
Keep going, I'm interested. When you see how lovely
it's that thing. I've heard that if you smile, you feel better. So have a little smile. Think of a happy moment in your life.
I'll tell you what a happy moment in my life would be. Putting a bullet through your little round head, you cunt.
Keep thinking about that image.
Right.
And you can see that round head. Just come to the window, I'll show you the round head.
That would probably work, actually.
Yeah, What? No, I'm not going to come near the window. You come near the window. You come near my window. Up you come. Are you coming near the window?
No, not yet.
What?
Delaying it again. Right, I'm coming near the window.
Well, I'm going to shoot you if you come near the window, you dopey prat.
Well, why? I thought we were getting somewhere here.
No, I'm going to shoot you. I've conned you. I've negotiated you to come near the window, and I'm going to shoot you in the head, you prat.
I'll just leave then.
I don't agree with execution. State execution of someone, whatever they've done, for many reasons, but the main one is I don't think you can have a state that shows that sort of violence against an individual, whatever they've done, and expect people to accept the very code and morality of treating people equally and not showing violence towards them.
Karl, where do you stand on the tricky issue of capital punishment? You've given it some serious thought, I imagine.
So what, you asking me, like, should he be on death row?
Well, should someone flip the switch, send him to his death in the electric chair?
Yeah.
That was the least considered.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a little bit of flicker behind the eyes. I don't know what. Well, just take us through the mental process that you arrived at the yes with there. So you've been. I remember that because there was quite a brief gap there.
I just was thinking, it's not a nice job if you work in there and you've got to flick the switch.
Right.
But I was wondering if it's possible to just do it so it's linked up to someone's switch.
What do you mean?
When they put the lights on or something. So it's like sometime tonight when the sun goes down and people start putting the lights on in their house, it could happen. But we don't know what household. They might be away on holiday, so you might get an extra 2 weeks. But at least that way, because for me, the worst.
Did you say that?
This is not the question I asked. Was whether we were talking about the morality of whether you put someone to death.
But he was thinking about.
About literally the practicality of flipping the switch.
Well, no, I think that aren't you talking about the integrity of the person who knows or knows not that they've put someone to death, like a firing squad, like what they used to do sometimes in the First World War when they had 6 riflemen, but
only
5 were blanks and one had and no one knew
if they were the person that killed them.
Yeah.
So, but my point is, you do agree that someone should be put to death for a terrible crime, do you?
You've got to have something there to stop them people who don't care, haven't you? Nature's done it in a way with bees. They've gone, we'll give you a weapon, but if you use it, you die. And that's like the bee. Well, so they're worried they're going to go, I'm not going to do it.
We do, won't we? We have people saying, 1, you can't do that. That's step 1. Here's the law. Don't do it.
But there's a lot of people who go, I'm not bothered about the law. I'm not bothered about annoying people.
Yeah, that's true.
So for them, at the end of the scale, you've got the chair and you stick the wires on their head and we'll fry your head. And they go, oh God, I don't want
that. That doesn't always work, does it, with being put to death? Because as a deterrent, most of the crimes aren't just crimes of gain with that. Some of them are crimes of passion where a deterrent doesn't count because you see red and you go crazy and you're angry and you kill someone. I think a lot of those crimes, the deterrent isn't relevant. You know, things like armed robbery maybe, where it's a risk, what can I get versus what my crime. Maybe then it might be a deterrent, but then of course if you start to get a capital punishment for crimes that aren't murdering someone, then that thing brings in you might as well murder them, because then you've got more chance of getting away with it. So it's very delicate what you make people be killed for.
You've made an interesting and reasoned argument there, Rick. I'm looking forward to hearing the riposte.
Right. When I was younger, I used to nick Mars bars.
Okay.
Right. Now, I did that then, and I knew that even if I get caught, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to prison over that. But it was worth nicking because the Mars bar, they were like 45 pence.
Sure.
When you're a kid, you can get a lot of chewing nuts for that.
Chewing nuts?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they like caramel covered in chocolate. Last ages. Quite hard.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you suck the chocolate off and then you got to chew them until they're... Yeah, I know, yeah.
Now, I could afford them at 10 pence a bag. They'd last me sort of a morning. A Mars bar was a proper treat. There's a lot going on in there. A lot of chocolate, a lot of caramel.
Yeah.
Like, I say, 45 pence.
Yeah.
So, to me...
that was like an advert that went wrong just at the end. They started off good. They go, this fly's good. He's, you go there. Mars bar, there's a lot in it. It's like, oh, good, keep going. Yeah, it's got caramel. It's got, yeah. But it's 45 pence, which is too fucking much, so fucking nick it, you cunt.
But, when I was younger, that was worth a risk. Because I knew that I'd be getting something worth 45 pence for free.
You weren't going to get the electric
and I wasn't going to get done. So, the stakes were high, the risk were low.
No, wait. You mean the stakes were high, the risks were low?
I think he's just trying to sound cool.
The stakes weren't high. The stakes are what can happen to you, and the risk. The stakes and the risk are the same. The risk is the stake, okay? Yeah, unless you're nicking meat from a butcher's, then the stakes are high and the risk is low. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but what you meant was the gain was high.
The game was high. Yeah, the game was high.
Yeah, the risk was low.
Yeah.
But wasn't was it? Because 45p isn't a lot unless you're a kid.
It is when you're a kid.
It is when you're a kid.
Because I was getting 50 pence.
But then surely getting caught for nicking a Mars bar's higher when you're a kid.
No, it's not. Look, you see, most of the time, I didn't want to say which shop it was that I nicked it from, but it's where I did my paper round. Now, the thing is...
So you're nicking from your own boss?
But listen, I used to wake him up. I helped him run that. No, because
That is terrible.
This is awful. Go on, hang on, I want to hear...
Really
I want to hear him rationalise his terrible crime.
Because that sweet old man who used to give...
It's not an old man. I used to go round and wake him up, right? He hated running that place.
Right.
If anything, I'd say I was his best asset.
Well, not really.
Yeah,
because you were nicking from him. You were stealing from him.
I don't know how much he made on papers, but he'd probably go 45p profit. Hold on.
They got their papers really early because I got up early. Yeah. I used to go round to the shop.
Mars a day helps you work, rest, and steal.
So I used to go round there, wake him up. He'd be like, "What are you doing round here so early?"
Don't know, I'm just hungry. What? I'm just hungry for work.
No.
Oh, well, good boy, Pip. I'm just going to turn away a minute, while you stand there in front of the confectionery. I'll turn away now, and I've looked back now, and here's the papers. And thanks so much, Karl, because you're a lovely kid.
He's like an honourable and trustworthy guy.
I can't really afford to...
I've been betrayed so many times, that's why my lovely wife's no longer with me. You know, she ran off with Ken.
Yeah, but I mean, at least I've got a friend.
I've got one young friend.
You turn up early, oh, God, it's brilliant. Oh, and Karl, keep a lookout, because
someone's been nicking Mars bars.
Yeah, I know it's not you because I trust you implicitly. And by the way, Karl, why don't you take a Mars bar for free? Oh, thanks.
No, that never happened.
All right.
So I'm getting 50 pence a day for delivering papers, but I needed the energy.
Right.
Now, if I spent my 50p on a Mars bar, 5p profit a day is not worth it.
No.
So help yourself. I knew I was doing a good job for him.
No. So help yourself. That doesn't follow. So help yourself. Get another job. Leave that job. Negotiate a pay rise. Not help myself. That doesn't go. That's ridiculous. Where does it stop? If you worked in a nuclear power plant, well, they're not paying me much. Have a little bit of uranium.
A lovely little bit of uranium.
Yeah. That'll do.
That's a strange analogy, Rick. Sort of left straight from a bloke nicking stuff from work. So he works in a power plant, he's having himself a bit of uranium. What's he doing with the uranium?
You know, Mars a day and all that, and that's for energy, and so's uranium.
What do you make of New York's ex-police chief saying we need more bobbies on the beat? He's come over here, he's the guy that sorted out crime in New York City. He's come over, he said, you're going all over the place here. You need more bobbies on the beat, more policemen, a visible police presence.
There was something last week about some copper in London who was sat on a bench, and he was asleep or something. Oh, yeah. And people were like outraged because like he should be looking after, you know, England's people, not nodding off on a park bench. Which is a bit daft because
they were shouting he should be looking after England's people. Was this the 16th century you went back to? What do you think he should be looking after England's people?
You know, wherever he was, if he was in like a park somewhere, they were like really annoyed because he was asleep. But
sure. He was probably undercover.
No, but the thing is, if there would have been any trouble, I'm sure he would have woke up.
Yeah.
If there was any sort of, if someone needed help and he screamed, he would have woke up. So I don't know why they were having a go at him.
Yeah.
And he might not have been there at all. So it was so he probably have his radio turned on, didn't he?
Yeah.
Listening to Heart.
So you're not concerned then that there's not the crimes going up?
I think there's enough. I see quite a lot of them whizzing around.
Okay. You're happy then?
Yeah.
As long as you're happy, Carl.
So you don't think it's too much crime?
No.
Just the right amount. Just the right amount of crime.
Yeah.
Now, if you think about America in the 1950s, black people still very much second-class citizens. You've obviously heard of the famous Rosa Parks incident, in which she was obliged to move on the bus from where she was sat to somewhere else, and she chose not to, and she was arrested for it. It became very much a sort of figurehead of the civil rights movement. Had you been travelling on that bus?
What would you do?
And am I far from where I'm getting off?
Yeah. So once again, you can't just nip out at the next stop so you can wash your hands of the whole affair. No, you're on that bus. You've still got a number of stops. You live further away than Rosa does because you've got a lovely big house, whereas she doesn't have a lovely place. She can't afford it. So you've got to stay on that bus. You've seen this now. You've seen this bus driver demanding that she gets up, gives up that seat. Maybe she's given up that seat for you. Maybe you've got on that bus as a privileged white man and she refuses to get up on your behalf.
I'd probably go, it's alright, I'm standing, I'm alright.
But why would you say that? Because you're thinking of the modern day Karl, you're not thinking of the man from the 1950s.
Well, the thing is, we don't have to go back in time. We can go to a country now where you'd see an injustice, where you were outnumbered by the law of the land. What if Suzanne wasn't allowed to sit with you on buses? What if now a law came in that women were second-class citizens and she can't come with you? Wouldn't you go, no, fuck that, she's sitting with me?
I'd say we're only going around the block. We've been to the shopping centre. Be home in 15 minutes. Can you take that bag with you? Because there's no one sat next to you down here. I'm a bit crammed in up here. There's more blokes on the bus. I'll see you in a minute. It's not a big issue. I've done it on the train, where I've booked tickets and they've ended up being different tickets. And I've gone, I'll see you in an hour and a half. I've got an iPod.
But
so you went first class and she was in the
But that's luck. That's luck. That's circumstance. One is policy. Surely you can see the difference between a principle and a bit of luck.
But it's what you get used to at the end of the day. I mean, I'm not walking past them and slapping them on the back of the head. I'm getting on, and it's just that's where they sit, that's where we sit. Like men and women going into a separate toilet.
Carl, let's put this I mean, obviously, this is too much for your head to... You're on a bus, right, and there's a few white people, and
I'm the driver.
And they're being racist to a black kid.
Right, if I'm driving, I'd go, listen, lads, stop that, will you?
If you're going to be racist, can you get off at the next stop and do it there?
Well, you know, we've all had a tough day. It's the end of the day. We just all want to go home. We've all been working. Right. He's not in your way. He's sat in his own seat. Sit back. Calm down. Had enough.
But what if they said, no, we usually sit there. We want that seat. Would you think the black kid's a troublemaker? Or would you go, come on, just move, mate. It'd be peaceful.
I'd go, what do you want to do? Do you want to move so this is calm down? Or
No, you shouldn't say that. He doesn't matter if he wants to move or not. It's his right not to move.
Do what you want, then. If you want to stay there and fight your own corner.
No. He wants to stay there. Don't you surely you want to be on the side of right.
I'm just doing my job here. I'm sat driving a bus. I'm driving a bus for 30 quid a week here. I'm getting a load of grief off some people at the end of the day.
But think bigger than the bus rule. It's not just a bus thing, alright? Just imagine that you're not a bus driver. Alright?
No, but that's what we're talking about here.
But yes, Ricky's trying to make a point. It's an analogy again. It's about you taking some kind of responsibility that could put you in harm's way. Yeah. That could mean that you've got to stand up to danger or to bullies or to aggression.
If someone's attacking Suzanne, she goes, Carl, help. You go, no, I could get her here.
Because I know the full story here. But this is what I'm saying about Rosie, what's it? I'm just saying, she sat on the bus. How did it work? She got on the bus, she sat where she wanted.
No, I'll tell you how it worked. The middle section of the bus, black people could sit there, but it was up to the driver's discretion to change where black people could sit, depending on the number of white passengers that got on. So she sat in a seat, some more and more white passengers get on, so this bloke decides, well, no, actually, this is no longer the black section, there is no black section, because there's enough white people, you've got to stand up. Right. And she decided, no, I'm not going to get up. It's my right to be able to sit on this bus, as a person, as a human being, not whether or black or white. And that was why she got arrested.
Well, she lost in the end, didn't she?
What do you mean she lost in the end? There's a black president.
Yeah, but it's not because of her getting on a bus. That's just because times changed.
Yes, in a way it is.
I don't know.
Because she became a spearhead of the civil rights movement that was spearheaded by Martin Luther King.
But all those little things go towards change.
On a different bus, on a different day, it might not have turned out that way. That's what I'm saying. It might have been, you know, someone else who goes, get off, who's been in a right mood, might have been in the pub all afternoon. And she's there going, I'm not moving, and he's fed up, he's up to here with it.
Sorry, so she's pissed up now.
She's pissed up now.
No, the person sat next to her.
Yeah.
Might have even been a black bloke. He's been working hard, and he's like, I don't want this.
But it's interesting you say
that. The bus pulls over, the police are called in.
But you say this, it's interesting you say that, because in the Rosa Parks incident, there were a number of other black men, all of whom did stand up. I think 5 of them were there, and 4 of them stood up, and she stayed sat down. So there was 4 people there who did choose the easier route, the easier life, and she stayed sat down, and she's the one who went to prison, and she's the one who's remembered, because of what she did on that day.
It's difficult, isn't it? If I was on there, I'd weigh her up. You know, is this woman doing this as like a good cause, or is she just a trouble causer? Because she just seemed like, you know, I'll do what I want. Now that's fine. You'll always get people who do what they want, and they do change the little rules along the way. But I bet when she was doing it, it wasn't like a big stand up. This is the day I'm going to do it. It's just happened to. She was fed up that day. She didn't want to get up. Lazy. She might just go around law breaking all the time, and she's remembered now because she'd made a change about bus seats. Well, when she got up that morning, did she say I'm going to do that, or has she been fly tipping before she got on the bus? This is what I'm saying. Is she just you know?
No, she's not a troublemaker. She's someone who already had a burgeoning interest in the civil rights. I mean, I really thought the Rosa Parks incident was pretty cut and dry. The fact that Karl's managed to find an ambiguity in it is extraordinary.
I love it.
Tell me something else about Rosie Parks.
Oh, for God's sake. I don't know what she's got to do to win you round, Karl. Honestly, I didn't realise it would be this difficult.
I'll tell you what is annoying. What? Steve's told me about a film that is about a monkey going off with a woman.
The Charlotte Rampling thing where she...
It's a film called Max Mon Amour. Yeah, she has an affair with a monkey. Go on.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
You wouldn't like it.
We can't go into it.
You wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like it. It's not like, it's weird, and you wouldn't, Karl, it's not like a nature programme where he wears a bowler hat and can talk. Okay? The nature programmes that you seem to see.
Yes, I'm trying to think, I haven't seen that one.
No! Yeah. Come on, do monkey news.
Well, monkey news this week.
Play the jingle.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news,
Right, it's about this monkey that was knocking about in the 1950s.
Right.
It was known in the sort of LA area, right? And apparently, again, I haven't really checked all this out, I've just picked up bits that look interesting.
Yeah.
Wore a golden mask, and like a cape and a leopard skin belt and stuff, right? So people didn't know he was a monkey.
Of course they didn't know, yeah.
They thought it was this bloke who's going around and he was helping out crime situations and stuff.
Right, you're an idiot. So, this disguise, that you see a 3'6" bloke with arms the length of his body.
No, but that's the funny thing, right? They sort of thought, it's a bit odd, you know, he's stocky, yet extremely flexible.
Yeah, and hairy, because he only wore a white mask and a belt.
And a distinctive jawline and stuff. And then,
right.
apparently, like, he used to sort of get to his...
Nothing we say gets through, does it? You've decided you can picture this monkey going around solving crimes, and it's...
telling you.
Let him finish the story. Time's running out.
So it sort of get to its crime by, like, swinging from the trees and stuff.
Of course it would,
right?
yeah.
Well, people just thought it's a normal fella.
Of course.
Then what happened was...
This is the bit that's going to annoy me, isn't it?
He helped some fellas out, like, you know, and for a reward... They were like, do you want some money? You know, you've helped save our lives during a crime and stuff. Do you want some money and that? And he just went straight for the shopping bags, got a couple of bananas and apples, right? And as he was bent down, looking into the bag, getting the bananas and apples, they pulled his mask off. Little monkey.
So he wasn't allowed to work for the police anymore?
It ended there.
Sure.
Weird, isn't it?
Rick, can I tell you the meaning of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah.
Can we never speak of monkey news again?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, today's story was emailed in.
So you didn't even do anything towards it? So when you say I've been working on monkey news, what, you printed that out?
So is the making of monkey news you checking your email?
Well,
Brilliant.
no, I'm always looking at different options at, you know, how much is going on.
This is what makes me laugh when he says he's really busy.
Yeah.
I'm doing other stuff and that. I'm doing other stuff.
People are sending in monkey news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get an email.
Is it from
check it out.
Reuters?
Well, listen, it's from Steve.
Okay.
Right? Now, what it is this monkey, right?
Yeah.
Don't know where it was. But there's a bit before the monkey anyway, right?
Jeez.
No, listen.
Shoot me.
Right? It's a bank. There's this bank, right? Busy bank. Normal day, everything's going normal, right? Busy bank, people going in, doing what they do, seeing about mortgages and stuff.
Yeah.
Everything's normal, everyone's happy, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's quite busy one day. Fella comes in with a gun and a balaclava on.
Up to no good.
Right, I'll tell you now, Carl. If this fella turns out to be any ape or monkey-related species, you're never doing this again. You're never... so just, if you want to finish it, it's at your own risk. But if this fella who robbed the bank turns out to be a chimpanzee, that's the end of monkey news.
Alright.
Okay, let's hear the end. It's a lovely day in a lovely bank. Everyone's happy.
Everything's normal.
A man comes in the balaclava.
Man comes in,
Is it a man?
starts waving a gun around.
Shut up, Rick. Let him finish the story.
Starts waving a gun around,
Yeah.
right?
Up to no good.
So everyone's thinking, oh God, you know, wish I didn't come in here, it's not going to be a good day.
How tall is the man?
Shut up. Let's hear it.
Everything, you know, oh God, and he's telling everyone to get down on the floor.
Yep.
In
Everyone's
what, in
thinking,
English? In English?
Yeah.
In
Think so?
English? Yeah.
So everyone's panicking, everyone's getting on the floor thinking, this is it, this is, you know, it's all over.
Yeah.
Just when you think, you know,
It couldn't
it's all
get
bad
any worse.
news,
Yeah.
it's all bad news. Doors swing open. Little monkey wanders in.
God, it's worse.
Shut up, Rick.
Little monkey wanders in, right? The robber's like, what's going on here? He's telling it to get down on the floor. I don't think it was taking any notice.
No,
right?
it was just busy asking for coffee.
It runs in. I don't know if it was kind of withdrawal or deposit or whatever. It wanders in, right? Goes up to the robber.
Where did it come from?
Shut up. Will you let him finish the story and then ask questions? That's only fair.
Okay.
Wanders in. Runs up to the fellow with the gun. Takes the gun and the bag of money off him. Everyone's like, yay, you know, we've been saved. Then the monkey starts backing out with the gun and the money.
Shut up.
see you later.
Sit down and
I'm not having this.
And
Here's the end of the story.
It does a runner with the money and the gun. No one's seen it since.
You are an idiot. I mean, you have said some stupid things in your time. What are you talking about?
It's a story that happened.
No! What are you talking about? What do you mean it backed out? It came in, was it an accomplice? Was it an opportunist monkey robbery? What are you talking? Think, Carl! Think!
I know it's mad. That's the idea of monkey news. We're telling people how monkeys are pretty, you know, they're mental.
Yeah. They're up to no good.
What do you think? They've never seen the monkey since. What, did he have a getaway car waiting? Did he swing his way to freedom? Where was this? There's no details. Don't talk rubbish.
Well, Steve emailed it in. He's got it off the net. And the funny thing is,
Can I
the
see
funny
it? Have
thing
you got
is,
the information there?
yeah, the funny thing is, it wasn't just him who sent it. I had that a couple of times. So a few people obviously read the story and said, you know, that'll be good for monkey news. It doesn't say anymore. It doesn't say if he went off to Spain. It doesn't say, you know, if he's on Crime Watch.
Yeah.
It doesn't say any of that. It's just saying that's what he did. That's the story. And that's what monkey news is about.
I've heard that they're making a movie version with Phil Collins. So I look forward to that and Julie Waters.
So that's this week's monkey news. If you've got any, you know,
Well,
anything
no,
happening
don't bother.
in your
'Cause that's
town.
the end. No, that is the end. That's the end of monkey news. No more monkey news. Alright?
Right, before I went away, I told you about Alfred. He was the monkey where there was a robbery going on in a bank.
And then he nicked the robber's loot and backed out with a gun.
Yeah,
He sort of stole. He robbed the robber, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did he take his gun as well?
He
Did he
took the weapons, he took all the weapons. There was like a couple of robbers. He managed, because they were so amazed that a monkey was coming in, it was like...
Don't talk shite twice.
Right?
Anyway.
So anyway, got a follow-up to that.
Okay. Now, what was that monkey's name?
Alfred.
That was Alfred.
So anyway, because a lot of people wanted to know, well, you know, what did he do? Did he go off and have a holiday? Did he... No. Right, so the follow-up is, what happened is, the monkey had the guns, had the cash, which was $250,000.
Sure.
Right? It went back to the zoo, right?
Right, Carl, you're talking
Ricky, I get angry with you when you won't let him finish his monkey news.
Right.
Can't we just get out the official
Imagine
thing?
if people were interrupting Trevor McDonald. It wouldn't happen.
I want to make sure I don't get anything wrong.
No, of course not.
So check the internet.
So, the monkey goes back to the zoo, right, where all the zookeepers come out and go, get him. He's got the guns.
Yeah.
He hands out a couple of guns to his mates.
What?
Right.
His monkey mates?
His monkey mates, so they've all got a couple of guns each.
Oh, Carl, Steve, I can't, mate. I cannot stand it. Honestly, I want to scream.
Please, I really get annoyed with you.
They tried to do him a deal. They said, how about if...
I'm going. Tell him that. I'm not going. No, I can't.
Step out for a moment.
Okay, we'll just do it.
Look, don't listen. Step out and I'll paraphrase what I hear for you when you come back in. Step out. Now, please, I need to hear the end of this. This is monkey news. This is important stuff.
Right.
Right, Ricky now has left the room. He cannot bear to hear, which is surprising to me.
Right, so anyway, so yeah, they've got the money, and they say to the zookeepers, how about, we give you some cash?
Yes.
And they go...
Sorry, hang on, sorry, the zookeeper said that to the monkeys?
Yeah.
Right.
No, the monkeys who have got the £250,000...
Right.
...say to the zookeepers, we'll sort you some money out if you let us go.
Sorry, the monkeys say to the zookeepers, we'll give you some money?
Yeah.
You don't see any problem with that?
Right, listen.
Okay.
It's nearly finished.
Right, I'm listening out there. This is ridiculous.
Go!
What do you mean the monkeys say? What do you mean the monkeys say to the zookeeper?
They were probably holding the money out, like, kind of going, look, we'll do your deal.
Right, okay, come on.
And what happened is, I think they were happy with that. I think they left and that was that. They wanted to get out of the zoo, because they didn't like it in there. There's the thing.
Right, I don't...
Just have a look.
Right, Carl, think. Right, how did they get out in the first place, this one?
Just let Steve have a...
So why did he go... So he went and robbed... He thought... what, he knew there was going to be a robbery that day, did he?
He might have been getting some money before they went to escape, and then that happened and they had more money. They might have been withdrawing some stuff out.
What do you mean? No.
If he was planning on leaving the zoo, he's going to get his savings.
What are you talking about?
What have you read there, Steve?
I've got a feeling this is a review of one of the Planet of the Apes films. I think it's Escape from the Planet of the Apes. I'm not certain. It could be Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Right, Carl, think, please think, right? So this monkey, right, he leaves the zoo, right? So he leaves the zoo, which he can do, presumably. What, they leave him the keys or what? They're chatting to him, they might as well. He goes to a bank. What's he thinking of doing? Sees a robbery, probably by chance. He probably wasn't tipped off, was he? Or has he got one of those police scanners? Probably got one of those police scanners,
Well, I think he was going to the bank to get a mortgage to, build slightly, I think he wanted an extension, didn't he, on his, cage?
Think of that. And so, I love the fact that he hands out the guns and they do a deal. It's, honestly, you've got the best mind working on radio today. It's incredible.
There's a monkey in India, right? On a, railway station, waiting for the train. No, don't mess about, because I've got to get through it quick. There's monkeys sat there, and, this robber nicks somebody's handbag or something, goes running off down the platform, the police are chasing him, monkey steps in, trips the fella up, pins him down, police come and arrest the fella.
He tripped over the monkey. Okay, play a record.
He didn't.
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news.
Excellent. A particularly aggressive jingle this week.
Wow.
Yeah, looking forward to this monkey news.
Carl.
Right.
Come on.
So, what's the name?
What?
We've done...
Sorry, what?
Brilliant.
We've done a lot of monkeys who, like, got involved in crime and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? We had, the one on the train station, nicking a bag.
Yeah.
We had the one who went
Don't
into a
remember that
bank.
Who cares?
Went into a bank. And walked out with the money and stuff.
Yes.
Right?
Didn't happen either. Next.
But the thing is, you never sort of found out what happened to them. If they sort of got worse, got more involved into crime
this
and
monkey
stuff.
news update.
That would be amazing.
Brilliant.
What they found out in India is,
Yeah.
they've got a prison. It's just for monkeys.
You mean wild animals? You mean
A zoo?
Yeah, a zoo or a kennel or
No.
something that where it's been gone mental or something.
No, it's a prison.
Yeah,
Prison.
does it have fraud cases?
It's mainly...
mainly sort of animals that are attacked things. Mainly violence, I bet. That's my
That and theft.
Say it again.
Stuff. Theft.
Say it again.
Theft.
Say it again.
Robbing.
No, let's go back to that word. We're going to keep doing it. We've got 6 minutes. You're going to say the word right before you go to Hastings.
Well, do you say it?
No,
because then you know how to say it.
Well, alright, robbing then. It's been caught robbing.
Say it again, though.
So Who's robbing? Who's robbing?
So, they've got this prison, right?
This is extraordinary.
Say it again.
No, you're not going to say it?
Oh, go on then.
So they got a prison for them, right? And, there's 11 of them in there, 11 monkeys.
Right.
That are in there for life. Because that's... I think there's one just got out on parole, right?
No time off.
But there's 11, I'll give you the bit of paper, because I thought this was...
Weird. You thought it was a bit weird.
Now, Carl, what are they in there for then? Because I mean, they're in there for life, so I'm assuming it's murder, is it? Premeditated murder? They're not crime bosses, are they? They're not.
Are they the
prostitution and gambling?
Are you sure they're not just the pawns and the head sort of like orangutans up a tree going, remember, you don't know me. You're on your own.
If I go down, you're all coming with me.
You take some of your gorillas down there and sort him out.
Oh, the great banana robbery. I wonder if they get them.
Right, go on then.
Okay, let me see. Now, I don't know what source this is, as ever.
Is it the back of a fag packet found in a toilet?
Well, no, I mean, someone's clearly, if this is nonsense, then someone's clearly gone to a lot of effort, because it does open with the headline, Parole Unlikely for Inmates of Monkey Prison.
Yeah!
Officials say 11 inmates at India's only monkey jail. Officials? Now, what kind of people work at a monkey jail? Where do you work? It says officials say 11 inmates at India's only monkey jail are unlikely to ever be released. The prison in Patilia houses monkeys apprehended by game wardens in Punjab state for thieving and attacking people. The Daily Telegraph reports how the monkeys at the prison in Montebello snarl and glare at visitors from their heavily barred cages. 2 monkeys were released a year ago after exhibiting good behaviour for 18 months in the jail. They have remained out of trouble. Prison can work, that's good.
So
all 11 monkeys.
They were aggressive wild animals that were taken away from the public for their own good.
And robbing and that.
Wildlife officials believe part of the problem has been caused by thieves training monkeys to help them. Lorry drivers training monkeys as guards for vehicles, and itinerant entertainers using ill-treated monkeys as part of their act.
It's the monkey that takes the rap.
It's a shame, that, isn't it?
That is awful. They didn't know what they were doing, did they?
Oh, so there you go.
What do you think of that though, Karl? If you could visit them, like Lord Longford or something, what would you say to them? You go there and you get a visit a week or something, you know.
So can you get us a video? Alright.
Do they get conjugal rights?
Do you reckon? You wouldn't be interested in that though, would you?
They get what?
Would you be happy to give them their conjugal rights?
Yeah, would you?
Fair enough.
Alright.
Off to Hastings.
Off you
See
go.
you later.
Society is one vast conspiracy for carving one into a kind of statue it likes, and then placing it in the most convenient niche it has. So one saying, no, this is why we're moral people. The society is great for us. It turns us into responsible people, okay? And we should love that society and make sure it's perpetuated. But Bourne said, no, it's just a way to mould someone into what it likes and put it into a little box so it can't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's not, again, it's...
No, both of them are right.
Both of them are right, but they're contradictory.
They're both opinions.
They're certainly opinions.
But I mean, I don't know why I am the way I am. It just happens, doesn't it? You know, I don't like killing a fly. No one would stop me if I did. But there's something in me that goes, don't do that.
Right, so this is a very important theory, because you're basically saying, well, you could be saying one of two things. You could be saying that goodness is innate.
Not likely.
No. Or he could be saying that there's a morality that transcends rules and society pressure. Whether or something's legal or not doesn't mean that you have to do it because it's legal, and it doesn't mean you don't... Yeah? Is that the one you meant?
That's what I meant. There was a bit of trouble in our yard the other day.
Right.
Between a wasp and a cricket.
No, the thing is there any point to this at all, or are you just going to tell us you saw?
Are you going to extrapolate some analogy from this?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, let's see. So there's a wasp.
Yeah. Well, so look at the whole scenario. The whole scenario. Right?
As you said, sorry, just to clarify, as you said, it was kicking off.
Right. Okay.
Whole scenario.
So you're looking out your window.
No, I'm in the kitchen by the sink.
Yeah.
Washing up. We've got a new sink. We've got a dishwasher as well. But I said, well, I'll use a sink. We paid for it. Let's give it a go.
So you're like a Luddite threatened by the technology. You're thinking your worth will be taken away. Your reason in the world will be taken away by the dishwasher. So you're going, no, Suzanne, we've got a dishwasher, but I am going to carry on. You're going to need me. I want to show I'm needed.
I wanted to use it. It's like, I don't understand it if someone's got a really nice car but they have a chauffeur. Drive it. It's yours. Enjoy it. Enjoy your car.
Well,
feel a gear change. Yeah, but you don't drive.
No, I know.
Yeah, so that's alright. But what I'm saying is, I've got a sink, I've got a dishwasher. What am I doing? If I put the dishwasher on, what am I going to do? I'm just going to sit down and do nothing. Probably. Wash up then. Do something useful. I do a better job than the machine does.
Well, get rid of the machine altogether then?
No, because sometimes I might want to go for a walk or something.
Well, why don't you go for a walk all the time? It's good for you.
I'd had a walk in the morning. Anyway. So, I'm washing up.
That was all the prelude to the wasp and the cricket story. It better be fucking good to top that.
His life's so complicated. For a man who does nothing at all, right, his life is so complicated.
No, because it's the same thing. The kitchen's failing you.
Alright, you're washing up for Christ's sake.
You're using a new sink, the dishwasher's there, it's not doing anything, it's not even plugged in, it's pointless. What's going on?
I'm washing up the few plates.
Right.
The kitchen door's open.
Right.
Suzanne says, oh my god, look at that.
What?
There's a wasp and a cricket having a wrestle. I've never seen it before.
Right.
Wait! Are you sure this wasn't Mexican television and it actually was a sporting
Two people
event?
dressed up.
Yeah.
So they're there wrestling, and I was like, "Well, stop them then." So
Stop! Whoa! You don't interfere with fucking Rosa Parks. Why are you interfering with a wasp and a cricket?
Because one, I didn't even know they didn't get on, to be honest.
So this is much bigger metaphor than black and white.
Because listen,
this is more important than apartheid and segregation.
Because I didn't even know they didn't get on, to be honest. Because they were sort of wrestling. I said, and my hands were wet, so I couldn't do anything. I always overdo it with the fairy liquid.
Yeah, sure.
So she's there. I say, separate them.
Poor Suzanne.
Now, so she uses a tea towel, flicks them.
Clever. Good thinking.
The wasp goes its own way. The cricket's sort of jumping about a bit.
But who was fighting who?
So I'm sort of saying that is really weird, because wasps are changing quicker than anything else that I keep my eye on.
Okay, well that's just your theory and it's not based on anything.
Well, I told you a couple of years back I saw one eating chicken. They shouldn't be doing it. So anyway, so now they're causing trouble with a cricket.
Whoa, how do you know it was the wasp's fault? This is prejudice. Why do you think it was the wasp's fault? What if the cricket would have started it? What if the cricket's got a society that go, we hate wasps, we hate their stripes. We hate them. If they come here, fight them. If everyone comes down here, fight them. How do you know it wasn't the cricket that started that?
Well, I suppose at that time I didn't, but since...
Oh, subsequent information's
oh,
come
okay,
through.
sorry.
Okay,
so anyway...
It's like Columbo, isn't it?
So I saw all that, we broke it up, the cricket was sort of shaking a bit.
Definitely not! Definitely not!
It was shaking a little bit.
Yeah.
So I sort of prodded it, put a little leaf over it because it was a hot day. Thought I'll put a leaf there so it doesn't get overheated.
I love this, like it's done the marathon. It's got a little, it's got Mars on the leaf, written on the leaf, and now it's just walking over the little medal.
So Suzanne, I'd leave it for a bit.
Leave it.
On.
What did you say?
Half an hour, about left it for half an hour.
What did Suzanne want to do? She wanted to interfere, did she? What did she want to do? Just sort of like...
No, she just sort of said, leave it, stop messing with it. It's probably a little bit knocked out, a little bit stunned.
Sure, let's get on with our lives, she said, yeah.
So, I put the leaf on it.
You've got in too much fairy liquid. Why don't we use the dishwasher? Cost us 400 quid, you dirty bald cunt.
So we go off, and half an hour later, I get back in, I said, I'm going to go and see the
Where'd you go? Where did you go?
Just for a walk.
But hold on, why didn't you put the dish in the dishwasher and go for a walk? I don't understand. So now now as a dishwasher sitting there bone idle, you're washing up when you could be walking, and then you're still
walking. Well, it's a good job I didn't go for a walk though, wasn't it? Because how would that have turned out?
That fight?
I don't know.
There would have just been a pool of blood on your back door. Porch.
So I've been out, back in, have a look, cricket's still there, noticed one of its legs gone.
Oh.
Don't know if the wasp did that, or the tea towel flick.
Or it was already disabled, and that's why the wasp thought this is an easy one. What if the wasp was helping it?
It wasn't, no, honestly.
But what
it was
excuse
such
me,
a
Mr. Wasp,
commotion.
because we're such friends and humans don't understand us, and anyone interfered will definitely don't understand us, right? He's not an entomologist, right?
Well, this is when I got the computer out,
Right.
had a look, and it's a, what was it called?
Brilliant.
I can't remember. What happened is, the wasp apparently does this a lot, and it stings them in the head.
Right, not this particular. There wasn't like a little profile of this particular wasp.
Yeah.
On a kind of
It's just an incident that
Just
happens a
generally
lot
happens within
between
wasps,
wasps and crickets.
Right.
So it stung it in the head, and what happens is, it's that whole thing that we've talked about before, where it lays an egg.
Right.
So I was sort of having a look, seeing if I could see any sort of holes in its head, and it just kept sort of moving its one leg, like, I can't handle this. So
What do you mean it's moving its one leg?
it was sort of just moving its one leg quite slowly, like it's just come
It's only
out
got
from
one
an
leg.
operation.
It's lost one leg, you said?
Yeah, it's lost one.
Yeah, it's moving 5 legs slowly.
No, it's just it's one big one.
It's got one big leg.
One big leg at the back now. It's normally got 2 that it uses to jump.
Oh, I see. So, okay.
So it's now
Right.
it's only got one. It's sort of like, it looks groggy.
Is it not a grasshopper if it's jump? Is it not? What colour was it? Was it like?
Sort of beige.
Oh, it's probably a cricket. Yeah,
So anyway,
it's important.
So you were worried that crickets aren't aware of the dangers of wasps. You did a bit of leafleting amongst the cricketing community.
I just had a look online and saw that, it's a popular thing that happens. It's sort of like a bit of a mugging. He said you can leave them for about half an hour. They normally come round and they don't know they've had an egg put in their head. But
There's no way it said leave them for half an hour and they come round, they don't have an egg. But there's no way it said
Well,
that.
he said they're normally stunned for about half hour.
Have you had an egg put in your head?
Fucking ostrich egg, by the way, it's coming out the top.
So anyway, I picked it up, I placed it under a little tree. I said it's in the shade again. No wasps can see it there. Let's just leave it.
But you've just left that cricket to now die in agony when that maggot goes round his head and comes out a wasp and leaves the carcass.
Well, this is when Suzanne came up and said it wasn't moving. I sorted it.
What do
You
you mean?
sorted it.
She sorted it.
What did you
You
want
wanna
to
say
do?
anything
What
else?
did you mean?
Well, I said, what do you mean you sorted it? She said,
Read
it's
between
best
the
that I
lines.
don't tell you.
Right, sorry.
I've She said she sorted it.
Wait. Do you think that we're in the mafia and we're being wiretapped? Say what happened.
No, well, she just said she sorted it, and I said, what, sorted what? Because I'd forgotten about it at that point, I was painting. And she
Right.
said the cricket.
Right, what do you think she meant by sorted it?
Well, by the look on her face, the way she said it, I've known her for long enough, so I know that she meant it's not good news.
Yeah, so what happened?
So from that, I took for granted she means
Say it!
I've stopped it being, it's no longer in misery.
So what do you mean?
What?
What did she do?
She crushed its head. Because she said it was moving
What,
about
specifically just the head? She just crushed the head.
with a stone.
She got a tiny head-shaped stone and
Squashed it. Because that's where all the action is, isn't it? So she said it was too cruel watching it, sort of shaking about with its one leg and stuff. You had to kill it.
I imagine I had this vision that one day
a
Suzanne just having to say to his parents,
I sorted it.
I sorted it. I had to put him out of his misery. I just couldn't bear to see the
You don't
twitching
like to know,
anymore.
do you?
I know you didn't like to know, but
Yeah.
I just took a rock.
Yeah, and just squashed its head. What was in it? There was nothing in it. Nothing in it. It just caved in.
Was there an egg in it from a
No.
from a
No,
wasp?
it was like you know when you get a blown egg and then you crush it and there was nothing. Nothing in it at all. Nothing in it
But I
at
just
all.
think he seems happier. I'm certainly happier.
I was happier because I'm much happier because he's sort of he's more sensible without the head.
Yeah. We're still happy together, but now we use the dishwasher instead of him washing up.
Yeah.
When we've already got one that costs 400 quid. What metaphor are you taking from this?
Just the way...
Yeah, so that's at the beginning. There was going to be a point you were going to extrapolate for this, like a fable. So what did you learn from that?
I thought I was doing right at the time. And
Well, that's it,
that's
isn't it?
important, isn't it?
And is it objective or subjective? You know, one person's evil is another person's good. Some people think abortion is the worst thing you could do. Others think it's a woman's right, and it's a kindness. Some people think that you should never kill under any circumstances. Other people say that some killing is morally right. Again, should an action be judged on its intent or its result? If someone said to you, oh, I thought I was doing a good thing. But, you know, they opened the windows and your cat fell out. They thought they didn't even know you had a cat.
Did they knock it, though, or did it just jump out?
It just jumped out.
Well, I'd say it's not my fault. Your cat's daft.
No.
It was hot in here.
Right.
I've opened the window.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not getting the blame for that.
No, that wasn't my point, was it? That if you open the window, right, and they come home and you go, oh my God, the cat jumped out and killed itself. You go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I opened the window because I wanted to let some air in. I was doing a good thing.
So did I know it jumped out?
No.
I'd probably say, you sure they didn't do that before I got here this morning? Did you have the window open?
Right.
I don't think looks like it's been there a while.
So
That's a bit
already
hard.
you instantly don't want to be culpable for your own actions.
I mean, it is
Hang
your
on,
fault.
it wasn't me who did it.
It is your fault the cat's dead.
yeah, it's an accident, but nevertheless it's still your fault.
If it's definitely me, yeah, I'd say, yeah, it jumped out. I opened the window because it was hot in here. The cat jumped out, dead. Let's go and get another one.
Right.
I wouldn't worry that much about a cat.
Right, but what if it was a baby?
Well, it's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ability to fly, X-ray vision, or super hearing. Tricky one, that, isn't it? I wouldn't have super hearing. My ears are well sensitive as it is. They hear the slightest thing and that's it. It drives me up the wall. If anything, I'd prefer worse hearing. Yeah, so I wouldn't have that. X-ray vision, I don't see the point. I've never sort of looked at something and thought, I'd love to know what's in that. Mainly because most of the time there's nothing in stuff these days, is there? I tell you what, I smashed up a telly once, part of the programme on the Moaning of Life. It was a thing in Dallas where they smashed stuff up to get rid of frustration. And there was a telly that I smashed up. There's nothing in it. It's just like an empty box. I remember when I was a kid and TV Terry used to come round. It was my dad's mate who used to fix tellies. You'd take the back off and there was loads in there. It was like another world going on. Really interesting. Now it's just, I don't know what we're paying for. Just an empty plastic box. So X-ray vision these days, I think nothing contains anything when you think about it. We live in a world now where everything is nothing. Downloading. What is it? Where is it? So you can't see that. And we've got X-ray machines anyway, if you want to, have a look at how your lungs are or whatever. That's the thing, innit? You'd be hassled. I've always thought that with superpowers. You'd have people stopping you all the time going, I've got a cough, you look at my lungs, have I got bronchitis and all that. So I wouldn't have X-ray vision. And flying, it's the one that everybody wants to pick. But again, I can just imagine being hassled. I already sort of have to drive Suzanne about because she doesn't like driving. So I can imagine people sort of going, Karl, give us a lift. Traffic's bad. And I jump on your back and you whiz us into town. So there'd be no... I don't think I'd have any of them. I've sometimes wondered about, how flying would be handy if you're in a building, there's a fire or something, you can jump out and fly. But then would it just be, enough to have, almost like a chicken has wings? Do you know what I mean? A chicken can't fly, it flaps about all over the shop, but it's enough to save it if it fell off a ledge. So I wonder if that's the sort of flight I'd have. The sort of flight that nobody would be hassling me to give them a lift anywhere, but if I fell off a bridge, I'd have enough flapping power just to sort of flap my way down. So I'd have that as if out of that three, I'd go with ability to fly, but like a chicken.
What superpower would you like then?
I came up with one. I'd be bullshit man. There's so many meetings going on where people are bullshitting. I'd just like to walk in, I wouldn't need a special costume, just dress like this. And I'd fly in, I'd go bullshit. You're talking bullshit, and they'd go, oh, it's bullshit man, and I go, yeah, it is bullshit man, you're talking bullshit. And eventually, people would stop talking shit.
That could take off. I quite like... I know you said you didn't want a costume, but if I could get a little costume for you, what colour would it be?
I don't need a costume.
No, but you don't need it, but if I got one for you, what would it have?
No, I don't need all that, because that's just wasting time.
That's more bullshit.
How do we know you're bullshit? How do we know you're bullshit man?
Because I flew in.
So you can fly. So your superpower is saying bullshit, but you can also fly.
Yeah, but also people know if I've said it's bullshit, they know they were talking bullshit.
Yeah, but wait.
That's my superpower.
No, your superpower is surely flying as well. You didn't.
We can all say bullshit.
No, the flying is necessary because of the amount of bullshit that's going on.
But if
in
you
the
could
world.
fly.
But if I can't fly, how am I going to get around? There's loads of bullshit. What are you going to do? Keep jumping in a cab?
No, wait.
I'm going to be busy all day.
I haven't invented this. It's not my fault you can or can't fly.
No,
calm down.
I know, but I'm saying if it was my superpower, I'd want to fly in.
Yes, my point.
And I don't want a costume because I'd be constantly wearing that costume because of the amount of bullshit that's being said.
Yes, I understand that. So your point is this: everyone can tell bullshit, but you need to fly to get there quick and get it out in the open.
Panic quick.
Yeah.
Someone starts spouting
How
the
can you
bullshit.
hear them? So you can also be super hearing as well. Yeah. So you can hold on. So wait a minute, right? Can you see where they are, or can you just?
I'm just hearing it.
So if there was a meeting, right, going on in Leeds now, and there was a bloke going, well, if you invest in this company, if you give me 1 million, I can guarantee you will make an extra $1 million by the year end. I will double your investment in 1 year. What?
Bullshit. That's how it would work.
You can see how...
I know, because honestly, that's years and years of people spouting it.
Yeah.
Meetings, ever since being neck-high. It's like, that's all you ever hear.
Okay, but how would you
programmes, in X Factor, honestly, X Factor will keep me busy.
Okay,
Just the amount of shite that is being told to people in that, and all that crying, that'd be the next one, I don't know what I'd call it. That thing when girls do that now, I don't know where that's come from. When they're getting a tear coming on, they go like that. I want to fly. Fucking stop doing that.
Okay, what do you make of the police protesting to Parliament over reforms?
That's not the band. Before you say.
Right, what's all that about?
Okay, well, the police have had various kind of gripes and grumbles which they've taken to Parliament, try and get them sorted.
Like what?
Well, it could take ages, basically.
They don't like the pointy helmets anymore.
Yeah.
They want flat caps.
They feel that their powers are restricted. They get a lot of bad press. They're not being paid well. They're under resourced.
They actually demonstrated, didn't they, outside?
I think they may have done, yeah.
Well, at least they're doing something about it instead of just sitting there moaning. You know what I mean? They're going to the top, trying to sort it out.
Yeah.
I admire that.
Yeah.
What do you think of the police generally? Are they doing a good job?
They've woke me up a couple of times at about 4 in the morning when I was a kid.
Right, was that because they were looking for your brother in his tank?
Yeah! Did a Sherman tank just come through here?
Yeah.
No, my mates nicked cars and gave my name and all that.
Right. Were they friends of yours?
Yeah.
Have you ever read the White Van Man column in The Sun, Karl?
I've seen it,
Have you familiar with this? This is where every day in The Sun they interview a guy who drives a white van, just, in order to get the kind of voice of the man on the street in the paper. And he has to answer, or just give his opinions, really, on events that have made the news each week. Just thought we could maybe throw some of these at you, Karl.
Go on.
Because we know to see what your views are.
Yeah.
So, just the first thing that comes to your mind, the sort of your initial reaction to each of these.
Top all things, but you don't need to know about them. It's just your philosophy on it.
Yeah,
so
just your views.
You know, yeah.
I have had a few days off this week, remember, so I don't know what's going on in the world.
Yeah, you stayed in London, though, didn't you?
Yeah,
you didn't bury yourself, did you?
I normally see the news, but I didn't this week.
Okay. So, what was your view on Will Young beating Gareth Gates in the final of Pop Idol?
Don't like him. Do you know what I was thinking about when I was watching it all the way through?
Yeah.
How he looks like he's got a wire coat hanger in his gob. That sort of...
Right.
Again, it's radio, Karl.
Radio.
It's a great face.
The funny face you're pulling doesn't translate.
And, a radio.
And that's a problem for you, is it?
And just the way he's from a really rich family. I opened up the paper on the Monday or something, and it had how he went to a posh school and he's got loads of money already.
Yeah.
It's just a bit...
Okay. Right, now, what's the second question?
There have been huge rises in street crime, especially muggings and carjackings. What's your view there?
More youth clubs are needed, aren't there?
You think more youth clubs?
I like that.
No? Okay.
No, I like that because it's so 1950s.
Yeah,
it's sort of like you want a bobby on the beat that'll clip you around the ear.
So once they've come out of national service...
Yeah! No, I love that. And if you find someone smoking a wood bomb, you make them smoke 50.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is great. That is great.
Did you used to go to youth clubs?
Yeah.
And they kept you out of trouble?
You used to get into a fight afterwards when you came out.
But for the sort of hour and a half you were there?
You had a bit of pool and some boxing and a bit of pop.
Yeah.
So more youth clubs, that's good.
I love him. I love him. If you're at home, just make notes, because this is brilliant stuff. Honestly, you won't hear more honest, from the heart stuff than this. This is great.
They've sent me to a prison for a massage. These are massive. What sort of massage is it? Why do they need that access? Why do you need your arse doing?
You don't get stress in your arse, do you?
When you know they're in prison, you do want to know a little bit more detail, really. Just little things. How long have they been in? You know. Did anyone die? Did you do it on purpose? I think that's 3 fair questions, isn't it?
You see, this is why she shouldn't be doing it. I don't know what she's in here for. Oh, fuck's sake. How come he's not getting this? Oh.
Cheers. Anyone's watching this and they want to work in the beauty business and they're thinking, oh, I want to do massages and all that business. I'll go and whack someone on the head with a hammer. It doesn't send out the right signal. She dropped a bollock. She messed up in her life. Got to pay for it. You can't stay Jack the Ripper. What do you want to do? Make some muffins? Go on then, open a bakery. You've got a killer on the loose who's going, oh, I'd love to rub people's necks. Get out. And he said, why don't you come round to the office? So I said, what for? Because meetings with him are never proper meetings. Like I say, it's almost like I feel like his personal trainer. It's kind of, let's have a wrestle. So he called up and he said, come round. I was like, what for? What are we going to do? And he said, oh, we can have a meeting. I thought, oh. Went along, and his office is in a really nice part of, like, North London. Dead quiet, trees and stuff, really peaceful. Considering it's London, it's nice. And I'm walking down this little alleyway to his office, and I stop. This is the round head police. Your head is too round, right? And this is like, this really loud, to the point of, I was like, how's he managed that? And he'd fold up a piece of card and made like a megaphone. And people were coming out of offices and stuff, and road workers were stopping the work going, like, what's that? And that's all he wanted me around for. When I got in, I said, what are we doing? He said, no, I just wanted to do that.
In ancient Greece, every year, 500 people would be selected from that Grecian society, and they would have to sit there that year, and they would propose laws, and everyone else would vote on them. And that was their obligation. They were obliged to be one of that 500, if they, a bit like jury duty, called up, and then they had to propose their ideas, and then the rest of the citizens voted on it. Now, if you're in that position, all right, you're called up, what rules and laws are you instigating?
You might go, right, I want an egalitarian society. I want freedom for people. I don't want slavery. I don't want any sort of oppression. Would that be high on your list?
Well, you could say, you know, when I worked at Cordon Bleu, there was times when I thought, being treated like a slave here.
You weren't though, because you were being paid and you were free. So.
What do you mean? I wasn't free. I was on like from 9 till 6.
Yeah, you had the choice to leave the job. Slaves didn't have the choice to leave. They wouldn't go. They go, well,
I didn't have any choice.
Actually, Mr. Jackson, I'm thinking of leaving your employment.
No,
the money's no good, and I don't like the dwellings.
No.
They didn't have that choice.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you did.
The only other choice was Tesco, and they'd already turned me down.
No, that's not. That wasn't
no choice.
That wasn't the lack of choice given to most slaves.
But the slaves who built the pyramids, that wasn't an option for them. It wasn't like they could go and, well, I could get a better gig on the Sphinx.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, you're not saying anything. You're saying absolute drivel again.
Here's a little Greek proverb for you. A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in.
What do you think of that? That's amazing.
Can you say it again?
Say it again.
A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. Do you understand?
Yeah. Just saying, they're planting a seed, they grow a tree, but trees take ages.
Yeah.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
That old fella's not going to get any joy out of that.
Right.
But, if he's lucky,
yeah,
the fella next door might have done the same years ago. So it's all about, sort of, planting a seed, looking after each other.
That's great, actually. It's not, I don't think it's directly what it means.
It's almost the point.
Yeah.
That's good, yeah. I think he means that future generations. But yeah, if the next door neighbour had done that, then yeah, that works as well.
But you seem to agree that that's a good point. Do you agree that seems a good point to you?
But I'm sort of guessing he enjoyed gardening anyway. Part of the enjoyment was in planting that seed.
It's the old metaphor problem again, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
It's not specifically about trees. You know, you plant the tree, as you say, and you may never see the beauty of or the benefit of that tree, but other people will.
But as a metaphor, what he enjoyed is the fact that he's added to society and human life, and he's got a legacy and all that.
But by the same time, when I went to Ibiza, right, Now there, they have motorbikes, people flying round on them, people don't wear helmets. You might even get 3 people on a moped. I saw a farmer with a goat in a basket. They don't care. They're whizzing around at high speeds. A lot of deaths there.
Yeah.
And they'll have a lot of them see those areas where someone's come off, been killed, people put flowers there.
Yeah.
And because that happens a lot, it's a lovely green island. Now here, we're saying wear an helmet.
You're saying that all the deaths make it nice because there's
flowers. It makes it lovely.
Because there's loads of flowers everywhere.
So with death comes beauty. So that's another metaphor, you can have that one.
That was one of the most tortuous things I've ever... That was extraordinary.
But look at London.
That was extraordinary, Carl.
Right, Carl.
Well, look at London, though. Let me finish my point.
Let him finish his point. I'm intrigued.
Right, London, councillor with his clipboard. Need a speed bump here. I saw someone doing 35. Put some traffic lights there and a pedestrian crossing. Pelican crossing there as well. And a speed camera.
Right.
Horrible and grey. Okay. No flowers.
But you still see flowers left behind where people have died in terrible accidents.
They're not very good ones. They're stuck to a lamppost with elastic band round them. They don't look nice.
He's knowing the quality of flowers. Yeah, but the point is,
some 15-year-old got run down and you're disappointed at the quality of the flowers.
Look at this, Suzanne. Fella lost his head here. Geraniums? Fella lost bloody head.
Well, that's
so we have to encourage gun crime so that people will get shot in inner cities and then we can put flowers up and beautify the area. Is that what you're saying?
But if an area's nicer to look in, nicer to be in, if it's nicer looking, you don't get people speeding around like lunatics. Because they go, I'm not in a rush, I'd quite like to slow down here and look at the flowers. This is so complicated.
So now what you're saying is, because an area is grey and gloomy, people speed around to get out of it. In the course of doing that, they knock people down, but then flowers are put up, which then makes the area beautiful, thus stopping people driving around at speed so death no longer occurs.
Well, they're cute to getting out of their cars to put down flowers. And
they get knocked down.
Yeah.
By other people on their way to put some flowers down.
Yeah.
Just sometimes people have to die, don't they? There was a fella outside our house who hit a lamppost. He had a helmet on, but his head come off.
You made me laugh at a man's head coming up because the way you said it.
But that's the thing.
he had a, oh God! There's a man outside in a house. He had a lamppost, he had a helmet on, but his head come off.
So you're saying that because in that one instance, the helmet did not save his life.
His head was in great condition. It's just not attached to his body. And that's what I'm saying to you. Sometimes people have to die. How far do you take all this stuff of you know, safety gear and slowing down and wear bright clothes at night, and it's just too much.
Very important point, you see. We give people crash helmets, we give them, you know, seat belts, we make them wear that, right? Do you think that's right for a start? Do you think someone should be made to wear a crash helmet? They're only hurting themselves.
Crash helmet. I don't think you should get fined for not wearing one. But then if you come off a motorbike and you hurt your head and you didn't have a helmet on, then you can't sort of go, well, they should have had speed bumps there. I didn't realise we were going too fast.
Don't forget, we're not just protecting him, he could be a father with 2 kids. So you're going, oh, let him, if he doesn't want to wear a crash helmet, let him get brain damage. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, we're over the top in this country.
No, but you're saying, if you're saying no, if he doesn't want to wear a crash helmet, let him not wear a crash helmet. He doesn't wear a crash helmet, he comes off his bike, he smacks his head in, he's a vegetable. He's like that, sitting at home like that. And yet the 2 little kids come to you, you're in charge, don't forget, we've put you in charge of society here, and they come to you, 2 little kids, they go, President Pilkington,
what?
Why did you let my daddy not wear the crash helmet?
I didn't. We paid, we put leaflets through the door. We had adverts on the telly, Sunshine.
Yeah, but why?
It's your dad's fault.
But why wasn't it compulsory? Because he wanted...
It's not the world we live in, Sonny.
Yeah, now I haven't got a daddy.
Has he got an helmet at all? Have you seen an helmet knocking about?
No, he's a vegetable now. Yeah, he didn't want to wear a crash helmet, but why didn't you make him wear a crash helmet? It wasn't just him, it was us. Why did you turn my daddy into a vegetable?
Where's your mum?
Mum left when he kept going on about not wearing a crash helmet.
We'll put you in a home. I just think, you see, this is the problem. Everyone's looking for someone to blame.
Yes, but this is interesting though, because you were particularly callous to that little 4-year-old boy who seemed so sweet and adorable.
Yeah.
But why wasn't he giving this stick to his dad?
Well, his dad's dead, he's a vegetable. He's dead, He's good as dead to him.
His dad went within the law. It was not the law to wear a crash helmet anymore, because you said, forget it, I don't want a nanny state. I don't want... If you wear a crash helmet or not. He wasn't a responsible parent. He hadn't thought it through. But this is your job. Some people aren't responsible. Society keeps them on track. This was you were in charge. You should have made him wear a crash helmet. He had 2 kids.
We've heard from one of the kids. What's the other one's attitude? Is he younger?
He's a bit younger.
Is he even younger still?
Yeah.
President Pilkington.
Oh.
My brother's crying now because you shouted at him. I wish you'd have made my daddy wear a crash helmet.
Why didn't you make your daddy wear a crash helmet?
Well, he won't listen to me because I'm not in charge.
He didn't listen to me.
Yeah, but
he seems like a bit of a numbnut, to be honest.
No, he did listen to you.
What did he do
because you made
for a
a new
living?
rule saying people don't have to wear crash helmets.
Right. What,
and he listened to you.
Did he pop shoes on in the morning when he went out? Or did he need to be here to tell him to do that as well?
No, there's certain
Oh,
things
so he has
do.
got some common sense then?
Well, there's enough, yeah.
Oh, right, interesting. Yeah. So he can be bothered with his trainers, but he can be bothered with helmet.
I haven't got a daddy.
Jesus.
Wow, you are cruel to this kid.
It's just, all I'm saying is, there should be a leaflet.
I don't even know how he got in number 10, this little kid.
The thing is...
But he's got in, you should have at least the courtesy to listen to his point.
Forget all, I'm sick and tired of having adverts on the telly. Don't smoke, wear an helmet, slow down, watch your kidneys, look after your liver.
I haven't seen that one.
Now, I don't know why. Why can't they just put a leaflet through saying, hello everyone, use your common sense?
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. That's what I think.
Because some people don't have common sense.
Everyone's got common sense.
Some people are fucking idiots.
Yeah,
it's not my fault.
That's
then.
why that's why there is
fault.
a government. If we let people, they'd be fucking idiots. They'd be eating turkey Twizzlers and fucking watching Big Brother and X Factor all day. And they're letting their kids run riot in the street.
But they are doing. Some families do just eat turkey Twizzlers.
Yeah.
There is little knobheads on bikes playing out till God knows what
Exactly.
hour. So it's happening anyway.
But that's no argument, is it? It's happening anyway. That's no argument, Karl. It's what we've talked about here. Social responsibility. The reason people get into politics is because they feel it's their obligation to change those things. This is your approach. I wash my hands of the whole affair.
Yeah, I'd hope that the people who don't wear an helmet sort of do themselves in, and that's cleared them off. That's one problem sorted.
So you think you're being Darwinian? You're thinking survival of the fittest. The idiots will soon, but they don't, because they're not just the victims. The dead person isn't the victim. It's a very good example is, okay, we've talked about it before, people who smoke know that it's dangerous. We know now that smoking gives you cancer. But why is that still legal? And yet people know that and they still smoke. Fat people know that they're going to get out of breath and clammy. And yet they still eat more. They get depressed, they're eating more. They know that they're going to be constipated for a year and a half, but they're still shoving in chocolate cake instead of carrots.
But because that's what I'm saying.
Why don't we stop them? Why don't we stop fat people eating? If you've got a smackhead and you really love him, you intervene, you grab him, you put in a cupboard, you go, you're not coming out. He goes mad for about a year, then he thanks you for it.
Yeah.
So lock fat people in a cupboard. And just put carrots under the door. What?
The thing is, there's got to be some responsibility.
Karl, grab Ricky, there's a cupboard over there.
You've got to take some responsibility, haven't you? Now, if it's your own fat kid, stick him in your cupboard. But what I'm saying is, as a counsellor, I'm not spending taxpayers' money on cupboards to put the fat kid in.
So, back at the Chosen 500 in ancient Greece, right, you're one of them. What other things?
I like that saying, the one about, do to others as you'd like to be treated yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Pop that on a leaflet. Pop it through the door.
But you seem to be doing a lot of leafleting. That seems to be your entire governance seems to be guided by popping leaflets through doors. And I get a lot of leaflets, so I'm presuming the rest of the country does, and it's not always working. So maybe sometimes you've got to instigate something a little bit more strong-minded than fucking leaflets, my friend.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got to make a couple of laws. You've got to stand
every
up.
individual can go, how would I want to be treated? Well, I'd want someone to throw cake at me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a greedy bastard.
I would want someone to steal my telly.
I'd probably start on the way you look.
Right, go on.
I'd just say, right, make an effort, tidy up your house, and I'd have some sort of.
I'm poor.
It doesn't matter. You can still tidy up.
Can we get better houses then? Because
look after the one that we've let you.
Yeah,
get rid of that old mattress that's in your garden there. Clean the windows, and then we might give you a nicer one. At the moment, you don't deserve anything nicer. And that's what I'm saying. You've got to be honest with these people. Wake them up.
I like that. Sure, you've got to be honest with them. You've got to wake them up through the heavy leafleting campaign.
yeah.
But do you see the problem with some of what you're saying, Karl, is that it's very hard to is to enforce that in law, because it seems unjust and unfair. You can't really start legislating against people's looks or whether they want. I mean, you have to keep your house tidy. I mean, who decides how tidy it has to be? It's a tidy police. I mean, that's a strange.
Well, hold on though. I like wearing sort of these denims. It expresses who I am, and I like wearing a beard because I just think it's natural. I don't really like shaving, and I like this sort of smell. I like this smell of BO. That's who I am as a person. So how can you impose that on me just to be part of society? Who are you to infringe my rights as an individual?
What do you want out of life?
Well, no, I think I just like to say I don't want to conform. I don't want to just shave and wear a suit, and I keep myself to myself, and I like to just grow a beard and eat porridge with my hands. I'm not hurting anyone, so I don't know why I have to conform to that society.
Well, there's nothing I can do for you. You're wasting my time, really.
Although I do feel ill, I need to go to hospital now. So I'm gonna go to hospital now if that's all right. Is there care for me?
Well, what's up with you?
I've got diseases from eating with my hands, and there's things growing in my beard.
Right.
So we clean that up for me now.
No, because it's all been brought on yourself.
Well, no, but that's irrelevant. A lot of people bring things on themselves, but you can't just ignore them because it's just part on. It's a bad society.
So how do they learn then?
I don't know why I'm being punished for being stupid.
How do they learn then?
Well,
I don't understand why I've got to worry about you.
I've got
proper ill people.
Well,
you had a kid whinging at me this morning because his dad was a Hmong.
Obviously in China, you can only have one child, can't you? Is that something you feel we should bring in here?
Yeah, I think we've got to, I don't know about one kid. I just sort of concentrate on who can have a kid.
Okay.
As opposed to, if someone's got a load of money and they're good at looking after kids, let Madonna have as many as she wants. But if it's someone who's...
social engineering you want to do.
Yeah, but hold on though.
Well, what use are they then? If you're bringing them into a poor family, what's the point? What good is that for anyone? It's not good for the people who've had the kids.
So who's deciding who's allowed to have how many kids? Are you deciding?
I was brought into the poor family, wasn't I?
What?
I was brought into a poor family.
Yeah, no, I'm talking really poor.
So, third world?
No.
What, poorer than that? Poorer than no money at all?
No, somewhere in the middle again. You've gone too far the other way.
Okay,
why has it always got to go the other way?
Cornwall.
I just mean like the people who I've told you about on the estate sometimes, who had that one who chased cars and stuff. He wasn't happy. They didn't care if he was there or not. What's the point?
Right, so hang on, so let's imagine that Ricky and I are husband and wife, we've come in, right? What's your questions to us to establish whether we are allowed to have a couple of kids?
Hello. Thanks for coming.
Me and my husband, we can't have children.
Why not?
Because he's got no sperm at all.
Okay.
He had one sperm and it was ridiculous, it was awful. It just came out like a dead anchovy.
Right,
and you were meant to have 300 million tiny ones, and he had one big one. It was horrible. I had to pull it out. It was like a leech, and also it was no. I haven't got a vagina, so there was no place
completely
to put
smooth then, like an action man.
Yeah, it was just that. I don't know, but we love children, and we wondered if we could have a child.
What do you do for a living? What do you do? What's your work?
I'm a rapist.
Right.
And I dispose of the bodies.
Right. Well, fill out this form.
I should have clarified, a rapist murderer.
Yeah.
Fill out the form.
Yeah. He does it in the wrong order as well, I must say. So, no, number of times I've disposed of the body. He said, I hadn't made that one.
I know. Just wondered what else you need to know about us. Because even though
that was our little joke, by the way. He doesn't rape, and
I work in an office.
He works in an office in the town.
But
I'm a housewife.
She's a housewife.
I'm making a little nest for when we adopt a little child.
We don't earn a great deal of money, but we're good parents.
We're very good parents.
What's that based on?
Well, we're good people, I mean, aside from a few naughty jokes.
We're God-fearing people. We believe that God is watching all of us, and we believe in the Old Testament.
And sometimes he tells us to kill and rape.
Yeah, sometimes he does, particularly... we've stoned a couple of homosexuals this week alone.
We're joking again.
We're joking again. We don't believe in God. We're from an atheist and believe that our time on earth is all we have, and then when we die we become worms, mate.
Right. Well, you filled out.
But we've already painted the back bedroom. That's ready for the little child.
We painted it black. Because we want our child to be a Satanist.
Right.
Joking again.
Joking again.
We want him to be an accountant.
Yeah.
Gay accountant.
Some would say the same thing. Only joking, of course.
I think there's too much in society where people are pressured to be heterosexual, so we're going to try and make ours a homosexual. So we don't care whether you get a homosexual or a heterosexual, but I'll tell you, by the time he's 14, he will be as queer as the Ace of Spades.
Right, so you filled out the form. Yeah, we'll pop that in, get it processed.
Right. Okay, but what kind of questions are you going to ask us?
None really.
No.
It's just my job.
You're happy. You're happy
my job
with us.
to pass the forms on.
We've passed the interview.
Because that's the sort of world we live in now.
God. We don't want a child. We don't want a child, actually.
But do you know where we could buy a knife? And a sack?
Start with capital punishment. Do you believe in the death penalty?
Yeah, if they know for certain that.
Well, how do you know for certain?
If they say I did it.
Well, people have confessed before and been lying, haven't they, to get attention or something?
Why would you lie?
You might be protecting someone else. The love of a parent for their child who's committed a terrible crime might say I did it. There's loads of reasons. How can you kill someone? How can you make that a definitive ending when you can never know?
Because that person wouldn't do it again, because then they'd know, wouldn't they?
What?
Say if I did a murder.
Yeah.
You said, I'll take the rap for it.
Yeah.
Right? You go and get hung.
Yeah.
I can't do a murder again because they'll go, so it wasn't him. It was Karl.
There's loads of reasons people. If you're mental, if you're a serial killer, you don't stop because you think you might get caught.
So what are you asking me?
I was asking you, do you believe in the death penalty?
No. Well, what do you want me to say? I don't know what the right answer is.
Well, it's what you think. We're having a discussion.
I said if they've done it and that, yeah, do them in, yeah.
Could you pull the rope? Could you release the guillotine?
Why am I getting involved in it?
Well, if you believe in it, surely if you believe in it, you should be able to stand by it.
Well, which one is it? Which one have I got to do? What button am I pressing?
Does it matter?
Well, yeah, it's different, isn't it?
Or you wouldn't hang someone, but you'd...
So what do you do when you hang someone? You kick the stool away? What do you do?
Well, the problem is, I don't know, it's probably more sophisticated now. It used to be a trap door, didn't it?
So you just go like that. It's an easy gig. That's a job. That's someone's job.
Okay then, okay, we're not getting anywhere here. If you had to be killed, right, would you rather be hung, beheaded, burnt at the stake, or lethal injection?
Probably injection.
Definitely. So you just go to sleep. What if I tell you, everything else is the same, but with a lethal injection, as he injects it, he just slips his finger up your arse for a laugh?
How would that happen? Is that in small print? Have they told me that before?
I'm just saying, would it make a difference if you're going to die anyway? So you just lay down like that, like, he just injects you and he goes, okay,
But why is he doing that?
What?
Why is he doing that?
Just for a laugh, why not?
For a laugh?
Well, yeah, if he's killing you, if you're worthless to society, why doesn't he might as well put his finger up your arse? What's to you? It doesn't make any difference to you, does it? You're going to die in a minute.
And do I know he's going to do this?
Yeah,
I'm not happy.
So what is it then? Lethal injection with a finger up the arse? Hanging?
I'm not happy with the finger up the arse.
No, you're not! But surely you're not happy being put to death.
I'd just say, hang on a minute, why are you putting gloves on? Why are you getting that finger out to get my arse?
Maybe he doesn't put gloves on. Why does he put gloves on?
Well, I'm not happy with that.
But it's nothing to do with you, Karl.
Well, what do you have?
I'd have lethal injection without the finger up my arse. That's not your choice, though. You've done an awful crime.
I'm not having finger up the arse. Hang me then.
Well, you'd rather be hung than lethal injection with just popping a finger up your arse.
I don't want that. So
Okay.
what my other option?
Have your head cut off.
You know about the are you still alive for about 30 seconds after you had your head cut off?
Wouldn't have thought so.
You see, this is, again, you believe the monkeys typing away.
Well, it's nerve reactions, isn't it? You're not alive as such.
Well, they got them to walk years ago, whenever they did the last sort of head chopped off thing. How long ago was that?
I don't know.
A few years ago, right?
Yeah.
And they said to him, right, you're going to die in that. You've come to terms with it. Yeah. Have a bit of fun, right?
Finger up the arse?
No. Going to do a white line on the pavement.
Bollocks. How could they tell him
that's what they were going to do. So he was meant to what? Remember this and walk the white line without a fucking head.
Well, this is what they did.
Well, no.
They painted a white line,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He said to him, right, I'm going to cut your head off.
Yeah.
There's the line, have a look now. Right, so you know where it is.
Karl, think what you're saying. How is he going to remember it without a head?
No, you remember, you remember...
Where's the memory? Where's the memory? In his legs? Where do you think you store memory? In your fucking arms?
Yeah, but if you do it quick enough, if it's like, go, and you...
No, he's
walking
walking
there,
there.
and he's walking, and he walked...
No, it's bollocks, it's bollocks.
He did 35 steps.
Bollocks.
It's not bollocks, though.
Because how can the body remember what his head was told a few seconds ago? His head's now in a basket.
Yeah.
The body doesn't go, what was I meant to do? I know, I was meant to walk along.
Well, they did it was a test.
Well, no, it wouldn't happen. You're talking shit again.
Okay.
Believe in absolute bollocks.
So is you with the monkeys and the Shakespeare. That's what annoys me.
It's not about monkeys, is it? It's about random.
Yeah.
So you'd have lethal injection?
Lethal injection, yeah.
I think that is best.
Big discussion about donor cards. Of course, there's no reason not to give your kidneys away after your death, to all your organs. They're no good to you, and you'll be helping life. It's perverse to me that you wouldn't want to donate your body to a worthy cause after your death. Medical research, whatever. You agree with that, don't you?
Well, you know how I feel about it a little bit. I don't like the idea of certain bits.
Why not? What does it matter?
Just because there's certain bits that are really personal to you, aren't they?
No, there's not. What bit is more personal than another bit to you?
Well, like I've said, my eyes. They're my eyes. They've seen stuff I like.
Yeah,
now, what happens if someone else has them and they start looking at stuff I don't like?
But
I don't like the idea of that.
But that's ridiculous, because your eyes they're just bits of tissue. Then they haven't got
no,
your...
but we don't know, because they found out
know.
there's something called cellular something or other that I've told you about the person who had some sort of operation and ended up like in yellow biscuits. I've told you about
Yeah,
it.
but that's bollocks.
It's the same
you
thing
told
with
us
the
about
eyes.
it, but I dismissed it as bollocks immediately. Not just because you said it, because it was intrinsically bollocks.
No. But it could work the other way anyway, where the person who has my eyes starts, like, looking at ants and insects and stuff. I might
it's
carry
all
on.
bollocks. Again, this is all bollocks. Got none of your memories, none of your thoughts, none of your reasoning, nothing of you, none of your personality. They're just a collection of cells that now have light going through them and making this new person see. They're a lens. They're a lens. That's all they are. So there's no reason why, this was the crazy thing, isn't it, when people started saying that they wanted their organs to go to a particular race of person, and obviously that's illegal. Also, it shouldn't be the choice, really. I think you should have that opting out, that you have to say that you don't want your organs given after, and if you die, then they assume that those organs are up for grabs, because there's a shortage. So what do you think of that?
Like I say, they can have certain bits. They're not having the eyes. I think that's fair.
What, can they have the cock and balls?
I'd prefer it if they didn't.
You're saying no one's going to have my eyes or my cock and bollocks.
What if the tables were turned?
Yeah.
What if someone said, Karl, you've lost your cock and bollocks in a terrible accident. It's alright, we put some flowers at the scene of it. It's brightened the area up. But, we've found a donor who's happy to give you his cock and bollocks.
He's dead, but his cock and bollocks we kept on ice.
Would you accept them?
They're absolutely lovely match.
Better than yours.
Yeah.
Bigger, younger.
Yeah, go on then, I'll have them.
You'd have
So
them?
you would, you'd have someone else's cock and bollocks, but then you wouldn't donate yours to someone else.
What about this? What if you discovered later, right, that the person who donated the cock and bollocks, right, was a sex pervert? was a homosexual sex pervert?
I don't think, though, that I'd bother looking into the history of these cock and bollocks. It's not like,
You'd accept them willy-nilly, but what if you just found out by chance?
That was his name, willy-nilly. That was his stage name. And
What if you found out by chance?
How do I find out by chance? What's the scenario
They
there?
say, well, the doctor goes, I should tell you, I know you believe in a load of shit about yellow biscuits and bollocks like that, so I'll just tell you, in case anything goes weird, this was a sex pervert's cock and bollocks, so if you find that you're sticking these through letterboxes, don't worry, it's not your fault. It's where they wanted to have gone. That's.
Would it concern you if you accepted the cock and bollocks that had a past like that?
Yeah, because the problem is, it wouldn't be that bad if I had his eyes.
Right.
Why?
because then I'm seeing what he wants to see, and
that doesn't make any sense at all, Carl.
But unfortunately,
it makes no sense at all.
The match is wrong. The eyes don't go with the cock and bollocks anymore.
I don't know.
So something's going to lose out here. Either the cock and bollocks, they're not going to get what they want anymore, or the eyes are going to be upset.
So are you scared of the idea, to go back to your yellow biscuit analogy, that the cock and bollocks you inherit, that whatever the previous owner did with them
lives on?
Bollocks.
That scares you, does it?
Okay, there's one final scenario here, Carl. Okay. You haven't opted out, so your organs go to where they like. Now, unbeknownst to you, there's a big waiting list. There's a thing. They've got all your details, and you said, yeah, whatever. I don't want to know. You wouldn't want to know, would you, after you die, where it goes? You say, I don't, because you've said you don't want to know. If you don't know, you have a lovely life. When you die, they can go anywhere. They can do what they will. Okay. Now, unbeknownst to you, they have got it down. They've donated your arse, right, for use to a gay rapist with AIDS. Okay. So they are saving a life there. So when you die, they go, right, it's still warm, get that gay rapist with AIDS round here, because that's going to stop him raping someone and give him AIDS. He comes round, he's straight up there. He's shagging you, right? You're basically saving a life, right? By letting him do that, right?
Sorry, I'm confused here.
What?
Why is the gay rapist with AIDS got the arse?
He's still connected to Karl. They've donated the arse, so when Karl dies, the doctors go, right, we're going to stop a terrible thing here.
So the gay rapist can shag the arse?
Yeah, he shags Karl, gets out of his system and goes, phew, that stopped me.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right, so
it's just Karl's disembodied arse on a...
No, it's the whole Karl.
Oh, Karl's dead?
So Karl gets struck and he's having a heart attack. They go, free, clear. They go, no, we've lost him. At 10:01, they go, oh, he's a arse donor. And they go, okay, where's the nearest gay rapist with AIDS live? Next door, get him round here. They go, okay, the gay rapist comes round and goes, where is he? Right? He goes, there he is, right? So Karl is face down. Now they turn him over, they go, there's the arse, you've got 10 minutes, then we got to bury him.
I'm surprised you didn't know this guy was living next door.
Right. So, the gay rapist gets on top, he goes, right, this is lovely, right? He's loving it, he's shagging you. Right, now, this is the weird thing. The doctors next door, they go, okay, the gay rapist will be finished soon, and then we have to bury him, but we should inform his next of kin. They go, oh, it's Suzanne. They go, your husband's, dead, he's out of touch. She goes, oh my god, come round and just identify the body. I'd leave it a couple of minutes, but, then come round. She goes, oh god, I'll be right there. So Suzanne's on her way. The gay rapist, right? He's pummeling you away, right? But you will not believe this.
Oh my god.
The movement and the way he's shagging you, right, has started your heart.
Wow.
Right?
This is a stroke of amazing good fortune.
Right? So you go, he goes, right? He, right, has a heart attack. Right? And he flops down on you. He just like headbutts the back of your head. So now, you're both naked, this gay rapist is up your arse, he's dead, right? The shock, you go, fuck me, how can I get out of this, right? You wriggle, you fall onto the floor. So now, he's on the bottom, face up, you're on top of him, he's still in you. His cock is up your arse, you're sat on him, wriggling, Suzanne walks in, goes, Karl, what the fuck are you doing?
She's heard about me being dead, and because she's come to the hospital.
She goes, and they go, he's in there, and she goes, he's not dead, I can see him. They go, oh, because it's been terrible. She bursts in, there you are, on top of him, wriggling to try and get his knob out your ass, right? You're sitting on a man who's dead. What do you say?
I'd just say we got to join Booper.
Karl, I'd like to ask you, if I may, stop twiddling that. Now, this is interesting, you were fiddling with a bit of plastic there, and it was annoying me, and I know that a lot of things annoy Ricky, get very infuriating for him. Social etiquette. Now, that's a very, that's not obviously inscribed by law. These are just things which have built up in society. So, for instance, it's impolite to sneeze and then shake someone's hand.
Yeah.
It's...
or sneeze straight in their face and go, oh, sorry, I've got swine flu.
Now, those things are obviously good practice in terms of avoiding the spread of disease, so that makes sense. But other things are more arbitrary.
Also, it might just be disgusting. If someone hasn't got a disease, I don't like to see someone sneeze on the pavement, or sniff, or scratch their arse.
So social etiquette, I mean, how do you decide... I mean, what prevents you from being truthful and honest at all times?
I don't know, there's something in you, and sometimes you can just pop it out, can't you? I've been in a situation when I've said stuff and I've thought, why did I say that?
Go on.
But it's not always... in the dentist. Last time I went to the dentist, I was sat in the reception bit. Big fat woman comes up the stairs. Massive she was. Had a right sweat on.
Right.
She gets there and...
out of breath.
Yeah, she was, again, you know, I mean, she was friendly, dead friendly, but kind of like, you know, leggings on, sort of, you know, shoes but not on properly. She was stood on the heel.
Yeah.
You know, like she couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
It's like greasy hair. And she went up and she's being all happy and everything. And I think that's what annoyed me. So when she sort of said, oh yeah, I've lost weight, she was talking to the woman behind the counter. And she sort of said, yeah, I find it really difficult, especially living where I live and having to come down this high street because there's so many cake shops and everything. And she sort of said, you know, today I've walked past, normally I always have a coffee and a donut, but today, you know, I didn't have a coffee and a donut. And I just said, why was it shut? Right?
No, you didn't.
I did, honestly. Honest to God, on my mum's life. I said, why was it shut? She said, oh,
Hold on, why did you butt in? She wasn't even talking
honestly,
to you.
I know, it's really, really weird. It's really
did you have
weird.
to shout across the dentist waiting room, or were you
No,
stood
it was
next to
just,
her?
it was it's a small waiting room, so you got the stairs, you go in, you've got about 4 chairs, and then this old desk, and I get on with the woman behind the counter, and I always sit close to it, and it was just me there, and I was talking to her about going to Corfu or something. She comes in sweating like some bison up the stairs, and she's there, and because she was showing off, and it was like, well, you should have done it a long time ago. I think she annoyed me that she wanted some sort of pat on a big hefty fat back. That she hadn't bothered having a donut that day. Now, maybe it's the inner me that just came out, because I remember saying it and actually getting home saying to Suzanne, oh, I said this, and I didn't even think I don't know
know
where
what you
it
mean
came
though.
from.
Sometimes you want to go around with people and they're going, I need. You want to put them down. You want to go. I'm starting out with you because you're going to go straight back to that. You can do this, that. You know, I know you've had a lot. Just inject them in the head. Absolutely pointless. Get rid of it. Yeah, I know what you mean. But talking about social etiquette, I was in a flying to Edinburgh, and I was with Matt, my assistant, and there was a bloke on a mobile phone across the way. Right, he's going, yeah, I'm just going to get on the plane now. And he kept talking that loudly to people, right? And I was fuming. Then he stopped and made another call, and I was giving him dirty looks, and Matt was going, no, sit down, son. And then he was going, hiya, in the airport. And I shouted, he's in the airport. He didn't notice. I was shouting over. I was fuming, and Matt was just getting so embarrassed.
But they don't see it, though.
And people were looking at me like I was the mental case.
Yeah.
But it was so fucking loud, and I moved through to another place. But I wanted to get someone. I wanted to be policed. I want to go, right, there's a cunt over there swigging beer, thinks he's a fucking Gordon Gekko player, and he's not. He's some cunt who's got his first mobile phone. Right? But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is infringing. That's like passive smoking to me.
Yeah.
It annoys me when you hear these awful middle-class parents talking to their kid loudly enough to let everyone know what their kid knows. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They bring up conversations because they're showing off about the kid. Toby, what's that you were saying earlier about you preferred Beethoven to... Right, okay, if that kid talks about Beethoven and Chopin, right? Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
It's like people showing off, thinking that the world is interested in everything they fucking say. That thing about everyone's got access, which is fine, but it's those fat fucking morons on docu-soaps that go, I speak as I fucking think, you useless fucking blob of shit.
Yes. Have an education, research, think, discuss, then offer your opinion.
And stop your kids chewing on a fucking big ball of fat. Your leg.
Got someone specific in mind there?
Okay, it's not his fault. Let me have It's Not His Fault. You've got to save this. This has got to teach me something. It'll be an interesting story.
Right, it's not his vault. This fella...
What year? Ages ago?
Olden times?
I'd say in the 70s.
Okay.
Would you? Any evidence for that?
And,
does he wear flares in the story?
Right,
Is that your reason?
No, it's a bit like Yuri Geller, this fella, right? Where he's electric.
He's electric.
And, if he walks past the telly would fizz. If he walked past the radio, it all goes like that.
Ooh.
His hair stuck up all the time. And he'd be having a bath and everything would be alright, and then the power would sort of switch on in his body, and the electric in his body made him jump out of the bath. So...
What do you mean, so? What is that so? What does that so mean? You've given us nothing. You've given us nothing.
You'd have to at least give us the scientific explanation.
Yeah.
Electric eels have 400 volts in them.
Oh, is this the running away again?
What was that one called?
Yeah, but but
It's not his vault.
But there's a reason that not his fault. It's not his fault. I thought it was going to be something about keeping it safe.
I think we should do these the other way round. I think you
not
should
his
tell us
fault.
the story and then we'll hear the pun.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Right, let's leave it.
Play a tune.
Don't look at me like that.
Oh, Carl, you're in a bad mood.
The Coral,
I'm all
dreaming of you. Right, do the last one. Do the last one. Carl's saying we're never doing this again because we don't appreciate it. Yeah, Carl, you don't know how good this feature is, mate.
Right, last one.
Yeah.
Stocking, Aitken and Waterman.
Go on and tell me about that one. What's that? What am I going to learn from this?
Right, well, do you know the saying, put a sock in it?
I like it already.
Do you know the saying?
Yeah.
Right, well, do you know where it comes from?
I assume it's shut up, so I'll stuff your mouth with a sock to shut you up.
Years ago.
Yeah. Sorry, am I right?
No, not really. Ages ago.
1970s?
50s,
Okay.
I'd say. Do you know the old,
I'd say.
do you know the old gramophone?
Yeah.
With the big horn on it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, well, those stereos didn't have a volume control on them. Right? So they'd be listening
Oh,
to
so you
the
put a
album,
sock in the...
and you'd
mute.
put something like a sock.
That's a real one, you see. That's taught me something. That's good. That's excellent, Carl. That is the only one that counts, like chewing the fat. If they're true. I'm assuming they are. It works. It's of interest. I haven't got it verified yet, but that is educating Ricky. That's brilliant. I will say the other two were more entertaining. So, you know, I don't...
Do you understand the distinction, though, between that one and Electrical Man?
And, or I've hit my head, I can hear you, Mum.
Yeah. Can you see the difference, though? Or...
not really, because when I read all three, I took something away from all of them.
What did you take away from the Electrical Man?
I just thought, oh, imagine that. Imagine how annoying that would be.
But that's not education, is
And
it
it's
really?
not taking anything away.
Think about it, right? We take our lives for granted all the time, don't you? You get up in the morning, it's like, oh, I'll get up and walk for a shower. Some people can't walk, right?
Yeah.
This guy, he can't even have you know what I mean? It's nice to have a bath, isn't it, when you got time on your hands and you can relax. This guy can't even do that. It might be alright for a bit, but he's not really enjoying it, because at any moment, it could strike.
Yeah.
So, he can't even do that. He can't comb his hair, because it keeps going a mess.
Yeah.
He can't watch his
Nor can you.
No, he can't.
Does he fight crime? What does he do with his powers?
Yeah.
I think he just has to sit around, because he can't work with machinery.
Right.
Because he'll probably blow a fuse.
Yeah, so he just sits around.
Think about it, what can he do? What normal things can he do?
Skateboarding.
Going for long walks.
Yeah.
Put a wetsuit on.
Well, he couldn't do that.
Why?
Ooh, water and electric.
No, wetsuits aren't actually wet. They're dry initially.
Just put a whole wetsuit on and walk round with flippers and
A
rub the
wetsuit's
sole.
not like a dinner jacket that's like really wet.
Well, all I'm saying is think. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And what was the other one
the
again?
girl deaf for 4 years hits her head.
Yeah. That's just.
What have you learned from that?
What is that?
Well, imagine how happy you'd be. Remember that time when I nearly died when I choked on a Mr. Freeze pop? Right?
No, tell us that one again.
No, I told you, didn't I?
Tell us again.
Yeah, but the people will remember it, and then it's.
They weren't listening. Go on. What happened?
It was ages ago when my mum and dad used to go out shopping on a Friday.
1970s?
Get the food in. get a week's load of food in the cupboard and that, and we'd, you know, they'd come in with all the food, and we'd all be like, oh god, you know, there's no food left on a Thursday really, so we'd all be hungry on the Friday by the time the food got in.
I love that!
And
That
I'd
they
be
wouldn't
like-
eat it. I imagine him like jackal puppies.
Yeah.
Just like licking your parents' mouth for food as they
So-
come through the door.
So they come in from the supermarket, they're emptying the box. Our kid had got some biscuits and what have you.
Frenzy, just a feeding frenzy, like pigeons.
I grabbed the Mr. Freeze Pop and knocked it back really quick, but it wasn't frozen, so I knocked it back so it was like a liquid, and it went down the wrong way, right, and I was choking, right, and I nearly died. It must have been about, how long can you go before you die?
A couple of minutes to do
Right,
it.
I reckon about a minute 50. Right, I was really close to dying.
How do you know you were close to dying?
Me,
Did your life flash before you?
No, but I just was like,
There's loads of instances of him eating pops.
Yeah, exactly.
I just said
40 of those.
whatever, right?
What do
anyway.
you think you'd see if your life flashed past you? What do you think? Which elements would stand out for you, do you think?
What? Start now, go back. What do you remember? What's the first thing you remember?
As a kid.
Yeah, just anything now.
Being in the hall and having our dog licking my face.
That's your earliest memory?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
Right, next one's probably being at primary school with Lindsay.
Yeah.
Was that your girlfriend?
Well, a little friend who was a girl.
Sure.
And we used to have like tins with letters in, and you'd have to write stuff. But anyway, what were we doing?
What? Got confused.
Right. So anyway,
I'm intrigued by the dog that was licking your face.
well, bin that.
We won't win that.
No, it's a great feature. I just think you need to be a little bit more careful about what you consider to be education.
Gone funny.
All
I
right.
fell over.
All right. Well,
We'll work on it next week. Play a tune, and what have you got for us? Because we've got a big competition.
We've
Come
got
on.
to do the competition. We've only got 25
Yeah, well, come on
Don't
then,
worry
quick
about
then.
it, Carl.
Do
Play a
something,
tune.
play
We'll
a
come back
tune.
with Rockbusters.